I'm not going to sing what I was just singing like I usually do when I start. So this time, what are the humans doing?
Do you think you're ready? Can you handle the truth? Or are you in denial and demanding more proof? They demonstrate in real time how they're spinning you lies, but no one pays attention, no one opens their eyes. They walk around like zombies with their head in the mobiles, signaling their virtues with a pick on their profile. Yeah. Signaling their virtues with a pick on their profile. So if you think you're ready, you don't need more proof. Conspiracy deniers are denying the truth. They fabricate our problems and pretend to provide the best solution, but we all know they lied. They lied about the weapons and they lied about health. They lied about the fact that they're transferring the wealth. You should really notice how they're pushing the fear. Keep everybody terrified and not thinking clear. Yeah. Everybody's not thinking clear. Yeah. Keep everybody terrified. Yeah, thinking and not thinking. Keep everybody terrified and not thinking clear. When you do, you realize that this is their trick. It's getting really stupid now, they're taking the mick. Said, do you think you're ready? Can you handle the truth? Or are you in denial and demanding more proof? They demonstrate in real time how they're spinning you lies, but no one pays attention, no one opens their eyes. They walk around like zombies with their head in the mobiles, signaling their virtues with a pick on their profile. Yeah. Signaling their pick on their profile.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Sasquatch Shills. We're Sasquatch Shills, so you don't have to. Everybody, you know, gets a scribble. All right. So, for those of you who haven't seen this before, I usually go and find some creator who's had a channel, but recently decided to start taking it more seriously or just started a new channel. But my point is, most of the people I host on this show are typically old hats at YouTube, but new creators after a fashion. And if I can find the right freaking button, I will press it. Everything will get so much better. Right. So without further ado, I have What's Up Cynthia in the house. How are you doing today?
Hi, Sasquatch and chat. How are you? Welcome. Oh, hello. Not welcome. I'm not the host.
They can be welcome. You can be welcome. We can all be welcome. It's a welcoming atmosphere.
Indeed.
All right. So I got a little bit of a duty that I do right here at the beginning.
Okay.
Tonight's is a little bit longer than usual because I'm not going to do all of it, but I just think it's funny and I just want to shout it out. A previous guest did a bit. You remember when the AI was doing all of the diverse historical figures?
Yes.
Well, homie was trying to find some AI art at the time, and he was going to do George Washington's farewell address. And when he did it, he just happened to be trying to do it at that point in time, and the AI kept throwing him Asian, Filipino, and Black George Washingtons at him. And he said it tickled him so much that he got to thinking about what a Black George Washington would have sounded like giving his farewell address. But before we get to that,
Mhm.
there is an individual on YouTube called Wildling Darlings, and she does these little short blurbs of inspirational, quotational, and upbeat kind of stuff. Sometimes it's dark, especially in October, but we're going to check her out right quick and see how it flows from there. We're going to
Okay.
try to do this correctly.
Okay. Make sure to hit the like button.
Oh yeah, everybody hit like button and stuff. I'm really bad as a creator because I'm not your usual creator. I don't do things the way most people do, and it's always different. So like, comment, subscribe, go poke her stuff around because she likes that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Misty. And sometimes when I move at the edge of a greatness, a lake, or a sea, or a mountainside, my insignificance thrills me, and the largest of my sadnesses dwindles smaller than the space between grains of sand. And in that moment, knowing my place comes a love so enormous, I can love anyone, even myself.
That's deep.
That is deep. Loving yourself. Most important thing you can do.
All right, before we get to that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there we go. Sometimes it's hard to tell if this thing is actually on. Before we get to that one, let's do the chat thing because they love that kind of stuff, right? It's so difficult to remember where all the buttons are. I recently had to move everything around to make room for everything.
Mm-hmm.
And because I had to add a rumble window, right?
How many screens do you have?
I have 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I'm thinking about a third one. Can I justify getting a third one or a mega one?
I mean, okay, we'll get into that in a minute. First,
Oh, okay.
Let's deal with chat. Let's do the chat thing to open up with. So I was first because I'm the mostest.
Yes.
We've got Russell in. Hey, Scrappy Dreams, how you doing? Dominic Tersini.
Oh yeah, Dominic, super cool guy. Hi, Dominic.
We got Northwoods Press in here. Woo woo.
Hey, North.
We're doing that wrong. Lucky Laptop News. Have you ever come across his channel?
No.
Check this out. He became somewhat famous because he was attacked by a cop for filming a cop with a laptop because his phone went offline. His phone was broken. He picked up a laptop, started filming the cops, and the cop said he felt in fear for his life and attacked. I'm not even joking. It's on his channel. You can go check it out.
Well,
dead serious.
Can you drop his link?
You drop her link. Give it a few minutes. There'll be a few mods show up here directly, and links will start dropping randomly. Feel free to click any of them that happen.
Found him
when you want, and I'll throw it in the back chat.
I found him. Got you, Lucky.
We got you showed up. That's always good.
Yeah.
We got the Smoking Auditor in. One of the local mod gods, Promethean Healing, has joined the chat. That's always good. Probably feel better later too. Chuck in Tennessee. What's up, bud? Good to see you again.
Mm-hmm.
Say Smith. Right? She showed up.
Hey, Lindsay.
John
Hey,
Winter.
Barbie. Oh, hey, John.
No, go ahead. This is your shows.
Hey, John. Hey, Barbie. I'm glad you're back. Oh, Lucky Laptops news link.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Lucky Laptop. Yeah. You can probably find him on my previous guest page if we could figure out how to get to that thing. Supposedly on my channel somewhere there's a list of previous guests there, but I've yet to figure out how to find it myself because I'm terrible at this job.
Me too.
We fake it until we make it, right?
Indeed.
All right. So the Budweiser Clydesdales today. Awesome.
I love the Clydesdales.
Yeah, he's all over the place. He does all sorts of stuff. It was just the cop that.
So is he an auditor or more than an auditor?
He does some. He was kind of forced into it by cops being assholes and him having a camera. And that's kind of how that starts off typically.
Okay.
If they're any good anyway. There it is.
Okay.
All right. So now we're going to go into probably the most racist part of the show just because I find it humorous, right?
Okay, cool.
Because why not? This is Captain and Curmudgeon's version of if George Washington was black and still served 2 terms as the U.S. president.
Oh, yes.
He explains it.
Or if there's anything every American knows about Black George Washington, it's that the most famous address he ever gave was his farewell address when he explained why he was going to bow out after 2 terms. When he stood on the balcony of the Black House and just laid it out for everybody why I'm bowing out after 2 terms and I'm going home and this is why. And you people can never understand how difficult it is actually trying to transcribe late 18th century English into 21st century African American vernacular English.
I hadn't even thought about that. It didn't even cross my mind, dude. All right, let's do it.
I was actually going to try and do the whole thing, and I got through about a quarter of it. So we're going to have to take this thing in installments.
What's up, Ben? Okay, let's do it. We can do it in installments. We can do it on payments. I don't care. I want to see it.
All right, give me some Black George on that screen.
All right. Don't
the Black House,
me.
Philadelphia, 19 September 1796. Friends, homies, bitches, country. We got us a new election coming up, y'all. Coming up pretty fast. And that means it's going to be time for y'all to choose who you going to pick to replace me, President Black George Washington. But wait, I hear y'all saying, Black George Washington, why you be leaving after only 2 terms? Why you going to do us like that? Well, if y'all peoples would sit your ass down and shut the hell up and stop asking goddamn many questions, I'm going to tell all y'all about all that.
And that's all you're going to get tonight, folks, because homie has done a whole bit over there, and it is blowing up gangbusters right now. When he went to bed, it had like 27 views. When he woke up, it had just broke 900 or something like that. Dude, I laughed so hard through the whole filming of it that I was just about crying by the time we got to the end of it. Man, it was a show. It was one of the best we've done yet. All right, so go check out Captain Curmudgeon. He's doing some wacky shit over yonder. And as I understand it, you yourself are a creator, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Uploads. You are at 930 subscribers. You picked up a few.
Yes,
Cool.
yes. Check me out on my grind.
Going all the fuck up. Let's see. Let me get this right. This is Lunch at St. Mary's. Is that your very first upload?
No, go to videos.
Wait, hold on. It won't be your first because your first 2 were fully copyrighted. First 2 or 3 were fully copyrighted music tracks.
Right. So that was my first
publicly available, non-copyrighted upload. Would this be your first publicly available, non-copyrighted upload?
Yeah. That one would be.
All right. This was pretty quick.
It would be.
We're actually gonna. No, that's not what I want. I want this. We're actually gonna just let this one go so that people see what kind of a morning you had.
Here we come to Miss Mary's.
Yeah, it was a soul food place that had just opened up, and we went to check it out.
That's groovy. All right.
It's no longer there, unfortunately. It is no longer there, but man, they had this sweet tea that I swear was a heart attack.
Oh, I never did do that. Oh, y'all hate me so much. I know you do. I've got this thing that I do when I show somebody's first upload, and I forgot all about it because I'm a moron, and I've been meaning to upload it. But let's do this right. We'll put it big screen so everybody can see it. You ever seen this?
You know about cars?
Yes, I'm a paleontologist.
Oh, it's okay. There's dynamite in this bag too. I am a paleontologist.
I'm a paleontologist.
Paleontologists study really old
We're gonna do that over again because I screwed
Like
it all
crackers.
Because bad movies are funny.
That's the question. Do we do it over? Wait, no, I'm doing it over. Fuck all y'all.
Okay, do it. Yeah, do it right. Do it right.
My show. I can cry
Yeah,
about it.
yeah. Redo.
Yes, I'm a paleontologist.
Oh, it's okay. There's dynamite in this bag too. I am a paleontologist.
I'm a paleontologist.
Paleontologists study really old stuff.
Like crackers.
Because bad movies are funny.
Yup, because I find them humorous and they please me.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So back to what we were doing before I so rudely interrupted us without.
Yeah. Now we're going back to Mary's.
My bad. All right.
Yes.
So soul food restaurant. You went up there. Was
Soul
it like
food, yes.
opening, like grand opening type scenario?
It was new because it was in a non soul food place. So it was interesting to me to see how this business was going to do. I was curious of why did they pick this location. It was a upper class location, but I didn't think the market was there. So I definitely wanted to go check it out to see, was I correct?
Okay. Well, was it good food?
Yes, it was great food. Other than the drink was it was so sweet. It was so sweet. It was good, but it was so sweet. But the food was great. I wish they were still there.
Any chance it was a money laundering front?
I'm not gonna say that, but
I'm just saying
it didn't make sense to me. The location. Everybody knows in business it's location. And as you can see, I mean, it was home cooked food, but it wasn't the right location.
Well, it didn't last long, so that's obviously
it did not last. Absolutely.
Okay, so this is your most viewed video.
Which one? Is it a live or a video?
Trigger Mantell. Yeah. And how did this guy get on your radar? What happened?
Well, I actually work for him. So, yeah, he is a content creator. He does like urban news and he makes it make sense. And then they have conversations on his panel. I do his videos as well. We discuss content and topics that are going on that I think would be good conversations that would be great over there.
Well, that's groovy as hell.
Flo goes over there. He covered a lot of the TI and people reached out to him and that he went viral off of his first video. He got monetized off of his first video.
Well, I guess when that happens, you just roll with it, right?
Man, he doesn't understand the watch time hours grind when I talk to him about it. He has no clue what I'm talking about. He's like, what? You're not monetized?
Occasionally on a panel talk about creator thoughts. A lot of auditors don't think creator thoughts. A lot of people in the YouTube sphere. Let me take care of this right now before we get too far down this road.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am a free speech advocate. YouTube is not a free speech platform. I generally don't care what you say, but if it starts to infringe on terms of service, somebody in chat's going to smoke you out. It's just going to happen. I'll go unblock you later and you can try again for free. It's fine. All right. Now that we've got that covered.
Excellent. What? I missed something, I guess. I don't know.
No. It's just that when I'm hosting people on Sasquatch Shills, the whole troll concept has sometimes been an issue where people see a new channel and think they can come in and start talking smack like they would have on your channel if they weren't blocked. And my mods would just shut them down immediately. Like, that's just not a thing. We don't do that. Unless they play along, and then we might do it. Like Truth Be Told's got free mustache rides, but first he has to wash that fur baby off.
Good point.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, indeed, I do.
Place to sit. So, how do you get into YouTube? Like you're sitting around, you're not messing with YouTube. You maybe watch a little bit of it, and then one day you uploaded a video. Why?
I was already working at a production place shooting videos for people in local events and stuff. And after 2020, I began working at home and it got kind of lonely. So I didn't have coworkers, so I found my way to YouTube, and I understood panels and how you could chat and meet people. So I just started intertwining there with different content creators. And the first one that I really began helping as far as keeping his content organized and giving him ideas and stuff for his show as well. He really encouraged me to make videos. I've always been a behind the scene type person.
Yeah.
So he encouraged me to get ahead and make videos. But I was very nervous for a long time. I did like 2 videos a year. And then eventually I began working with Trig, who is local in this area. And so we began just working together. And then he was like, you got to do a channel too. And so I was just like, you know what? There's a piece of the pie to be had on YouTube. I'm going to go get mine.
Huh. This thing just picked up from the very beginning. I guess it is one of your panel videos. I didn't realize that. I thought it was one of your morning vlogs.
What's that one?
Apparently yesterday's. That's not a vlog. That's only 3 minutes long. That doesn't make.
What is the title of it?
Most uploaded word wizards and NLP.
Oh, that was a conversation that we were having on my panel with Flow State. So what I'm doing is I'm creating new playlists. And so one of the new playlists I created was conversations.
Right.
And so you know how the panels can be 7 to 8 to 12 to 24 hours long.
Sure.
No one always has time to dedicate, but there's always these wonderful gems that are somewhere in them. So I'm pulling them out and putting them in playlist. This was the I think this was the first or the second one I uploaded yesterday. But it was a good conversation.
Have you had anybody clip anything and send it to you yet? Like clip something of yours and send it to you?
No. But they have taken my clips and used them before, but not send it to me.
Okay, so I got this email one afternoon, and it's an old Batman episode that someone had gone in, stripped the sound off of, and replaced the lines from the Batman episode with YouTuber voices from clips out of different live streams and panels and stuff.
So who was Batman?
Dude, I couldn't even tell you. As far as I know, it's never been uploaded to YouTube, and I don't discuss backstage stuff on the surface, but this thing come in and I watched it and I was like, that's freaking hilarious. Cause you recognize some of the voices you don't, and it's like, okay, whatever. But I went through it like twice and couldn't figure out why it was sent to me. And finally it caught in my craw. I waited a couple of days, didn't get anything else from them. And so I emailed them, why did you send me this? And they're like, watch it again and listen close. And I was like, okay. And I went through it and I was like, what? You're the Joker's laugh.
Okay. So that's the same thing I did, but I put people's heads on the bodies, and then that's what got me in trouble. He just kept them as the characters, right?
Yeah, no, he edited edited down the episode to about 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and he just got rid of a bunch of the extraneous stuff, and then he used he also brought in a few clips for some other. I can't show it because it hasn't been uploaded, and I'm assuming it's part of a bigger project, but I don't know. So
yeah, those are fun. Those are so fun to do, but those do get you in trouble. But those are the funnest to do. I used to do those with music videos.
Right. Okay. So recently, you have changed your approach to content a little bit, right?
Correct.
You've gone from doing like pre-made edited style videos to more of a video vlogging approach.
Well, before the videos, I started doing panels, and the panels were what I worked on next. And then from there, I was like, I'm just gonna go to my vlogging style.
Right. And what's your vlogging is kind of all over the map at the moment because you haven't
it's 4 days deep. I'm 4 days in, so I'm still wobbly on it. I'm not embarrassed.
Right.
This isn't going to be a vlog.
That's not what I'm getting at. I'm just trying to walk through the thought process from, okay, you're aware of YouTube, you work with a few YouTubers, and then you decide to do a few videos, but nothing serious. And then you went directly into the panelverse. That must have been painful.
Well, okay, so the other Triggerman show is a panel, and I always wanted to go on his panel, but because I worked with him, I didn't want it because I felt like people would just be nice to me on the panel because I work with him, and I wanted honest feedback. So I decided to go to a panel that I was completely odd man out.
Right.
And so that panel was Paul Unslaved.
Oh,
That was the first, those were the first panels I sat on were his.
this explains so much about stuff that I didn't understand up until literally 2 seconds ago.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh, like what?
That makes sense. That actually makes sense.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, it's just you find different personality types come into the panel verse from different origins.
Mhm.
So you have a lot of people who are completely up to, they have an agenda, they're promoting an idea, they have a organization, they're trying to forward some point in everyone else's lives kind of thing, not necessarily their own. And then you have the other people who are just so convinced they're the coolest thing since sliced bread. How could you not watch me? Those people come to panels. You don't fall in either of those categories, having backdoored in by way of just association. I don't fall into those categories because when I started my channel, I was going to read Westerns. That was my whole plan. And my microphone was damaged. The one that my first mic that I bought was damaged. And because I've never dealt with mics, I didn't realize it. And I couldn't read yelling into the mic like that, but I could stream. And so I backdoored into panels by way of asking too many questions anytime I was invited on a panel. They're like, show of that. I was like, what a terrible idea. And here we are. So where do you plan on going from here? You were talking about monetization and branding.
Yes.
Page. You don't have to get too far into it, but a general idea of like which way you're poking the donkey.
Well, I like the conversation. So I want to create a place where conversations can be had. Conversations are food for thought. Along with working out physically, you need to work out mentally in your mind. So I definitely want a place with conversations. The panels are fun. Like, don't get me wrong, they are fun, but I also want to learn to do this on my own in case I have to always stand on my own. So I'm learning to do the voyeurism type lives where you can watch me cook breakfast, and then I touch on the news, and then I also touch on current events.
So how does the news feel about it when you touch them?
They're okay because I'm not too perverted with it yet. I do keep it above the waistline. However, I have been eyeballing a few that might get touched in the dark, of course.
And why do you think I would be able to answer you in the middle of a show? That makes no sense. Why would you start texting me? I don't get it.
Thank you, laptop. Like, so, but I enjoy the panels. That's how I met you, and that's how I met other people that y'all see me on. So the panel.
Tina Jewel, Tiffany's Epiphany, welcome in. Good to see you both. Appreciate it. Bye. Right. Freaking buttons are going nuts over here.
I know I'm going between both chats because I'm restreaming onto my page as well.
Good girl. All right. The real trick here is most of what you're after can be found in StreamYards, but actually moderating your channel has to be done from your channel's chat.
Right. I have someone over there for me right now. But you know, I still want to make sure I say hi because the chat is important. Like, how I consider the chat just as important as sitting on the panel.
The chat is more important than the panel because the chat is the source of all revenue when it comes down to it.
Oh, well, I was just thinking this source of inspiration, but yeah, I guess technically you're right on revenue too.
It kind of depends. If you're going to take your inspiration from chat, you're going to end up being run ragged because you can't please everybody. Hell, I don't try to please anyone. All I'm trying to do is entertain myself while laughing at everyone else. So, you know, we're doing pretty good so far.
I like the chat because they keep the conversations going, or they can turn a conversation. When I say of inspiration, they keep the conversation.
When I'm hosting my Tuesday show with AJOT, the chat goes so freaking barmy over there that I just have to ignore it, because if I try to keep up with what they're saying at the same time I'm talking with somebody on the channel and interacting with a video, I'll lose my monkeys. I'll just end up going, what the hell are y'all talking about? What's going on over there? Do I want to know what's going? I don't know. Maybe not.
See, I'm still so young, so the chat's not. I'm young in the YouTube street, so the chat's not so chaotic for me. So at this point, they're my training wheels still.
Yeah, that'll work for a little while, but you're getting to the point where you're gonna start picking up more haters and trolls just on the general having a channel. And once that happens, how you react to them can either make or break your channel. Because if you let them lead you around with a notion of insults, they will.
Funny you say such a thing, because I just clipped up 140 clips. I didn't realize I had so many hate comment clips in my phone. And so like Flow State's doing the hit piece of all of him. I think you were the inspiration behind that.
Correct? I don't discuss other people's channels.
Okay. Well, I took my inspiration from him, and I've done it as well. And I think I have, I think I have about 60 of the clips in, and I'm already at 22 minutes. So it's interesting to see, because I had forgot about so much of it. So going back and watching it, I'm kind of getting mad again.
Yeah, don't do that. See, that's exactly
right. Like I completely forgot about some of these arguments.
Right. That's exactly why you see me. I don't really participate, but I'll take shots constantly. But it's equal. It's to everybody. I just think you're all hilarious. So I don't have any particular love or hate for anybody involved, but that's funny, and I don't care who you are.
Right.
So,
it's funny. I'm laughing at them because I mean it is funny, but some of them I'm like, oh wow, I forgot about that. So it's interesting, but I'm gonna break them up. Like I'm not gonna just stick out a 3-hour video.
Absolutely not. Break it up into 10-minute lifts, and you do.
Bro, I was gonna do 3 minutes and just end it, and you know I'm just gonna stay humble. It's important to stay humble.
Do 1 3-minute the next week. Do them. All right. If you're gonna do them daily, do them 3 minutes. If you're
as an ending to a show, 3 minutes. You think
3 minutes is fine for an outro, but you're not going to want to sit around for the full 3 minutes.
Right.
Let's show you all right. So the way this show works, that I haven't really had a chance to explain to you because you was busy, but I come in, we do the show. It's its own bit. As soon as the show ends, I shut down all the channels that aren't mine, and we go into the after dark. The reason I do that is everything I use in the channel is copyright free. So it goes up on your channel. It should go up a monetizable thing at some point in time in the future. It'll still be there in theory. There's no reason it should be taken down, provided we don't do anything stupid.
Right.
I will take my live stream down directly. It might be a week or two. It might be a couple of months, but I'll edit this show out of it and upload it as its own thing and keep the live stream private. The reason is we have another show that happens after this called After Dark. And After Dark, I bring up a couple of videos. I drop the link in chat, and any previous guests that want to come up can. And any of them that want to ask questions can. You're welcome to stick around during this, but you're not required to.
Okay.
In the future, when I do future Sasquatch Shills, if you want to restream it, you can. But it'll be just like we're doing now. Me and the guest will talk for 57 minutes, and then I'll turn it off, and you're welcome up on panel after that. It's a weird kind of setup. I call it ghetto syndication.
Interesting. I've noticed your interest in the ghetto-ness. So that's kind of piqued my curiosity that I'm going to be observing from now on. But how did you come up with your formula?
Well, it kind of grew naturally out of the transition from doing a full OBS stream to transferring into using StreamYards for guests and utilizing different methods of controlling sound and stuff on this end. I realized that there are a lot of creators out there that are trying to figure out how to do some little tidbit or something or other, and they just haven't poked their finger in the right hole yet to figure out how to do it. All they need is a little somewhere to talk their way through it, and they'll make much better content in general. There's Scully's House of Gorillas. That's another previous guest, along with Tiffany's Epiphany. So I set this up basically because there were a handful of creators I wanted to meet, talk to directly without a whole bunch of cross chatter going on. I have such a promotional attitude about the things that I do that everyone suggested I do some type of promotional show, and the physics of it, the actual layout of it, has been a development over the past 4 years. This is the flagship show of Sasquatch Network, as it were. And I do a lot of other stuff behind the scenes for other creators. I produce the Blast Radius on Sundays. I'm going to start up doing something called the Bad Binky Show on Tuesdays, since she gets 5-10 times more views on it than I do. I might as well give it to her, right?
Well, I'm glad that you shared that story with me about the formula. That's kind of where I am. I'm trying to find the formula that fits me the best. And
well,
so
you have a choice. You have a choice right now. It's an interesting one, but it's one that has ramifications that I didn't consider for a couple of weeks of doing it.
Okay.
You have the vertical live stream format that exists.
Yeah.
Really push a channel really hard if it's well done.
Right.
On the other hand, you can't share links. You can't, if you invite someone up on panel, you can't drop the link in chat. You have to email it to them. So it depends on the panels you're doing. If you're doing open panels where anybody can join, that won't work. But if you've got 5 people in particular, you can email them the link. That'll work.
Right.
You can do that. So you have to kind of think ahead before you set up the stream as to what kind of stream it's going to be, and do it in the right format for it to work. Like after this, I'm going to drop the StreamYard link in chat. Anybody wants to come up can come up, and we'll have us a little chit chat. Right. And it's you never know who you're going to get. We might have Mexican there. We might have Lucky Laptop. We might have any number of people come in. It's not an open panel though. It is relegated largely to previous guests, although I'll bring some folks up and talk to them and see if they're going to play ball or be mean. They're going to be mean. They're sitting the place for it. Not right now.
Yeah. Got you.
So you're coming from that. And the only reason I brought all of this up, you're coming from a panel verse into a content creation landscape. Most people go from content creation into the panel verse.
Oh, really? Are you saying I did it backwards?
No, there's no wrong way to do it. No forward or backwards or none of that. It's just you have experiences in. There's a Sparkle simp in my chat right now. Look at him. That's Toe for Life Chronicles. He got, last time I saw him, he had a pretty stout handlebar mustache too. Big old face figure. Toe for Life Chronicles. Yeah. What I'm getting at is this. You have more experience dealing with people on a face-to-face basis than you do dealing with editing and sound balancing and all that kind of stuff. A lot of in your position, but a lot of people in your position would go from paneling to an IRL style stream, which I guess is like your vlog. But IRL tends to be like out in the real world doing stuff, whereas yours is in your home doing stuff, which is fine. That's not a,
I'm concerned. I hate when I'm watching the stream and then they're out and about and they lag. That irritates me so much. So much. Like that really grinds my gears. So I do have visions of where I want it to go. And so eventually I will talk about my day, film my day, and then post it later is the plan. But I'm still filling out the formula.
Right. All right. Well, get with me after all of this is done tomorrow, the next day, next week,
Okay.
whenever it's up to you. You're going to probably have some. I know how you make notes. You'll probably have a lot of notes before this is all said and done.
Right now.
Wait on those for a few days and then get back with me. And like I said, I set up shows for guests, previous guests. If they want to do a show, basically sit down, get clips and stuff to use for intro, outro, transition, stuff like that. We'll sit backstage sometimes for a couple of hours and force you to do transitions back and forth so that your muscle memory gets correct with and you don't accidentally end the stream or, pop up somebody's picture of a butthole or whatever, that kind of stuff. How to do overlays, when to use them, how to do a safe panel, that type of stuff.
How to do a fake panel?
Safe.
Oh, safe. I was like, "Ooh, how do I do that?" Yeah, let me write that word down. Safe.
Well,
panel.
All it is when you bring someone up, you cover everything up so nobody can see anything, and you let them verify themselves vocally before you do it. Or you can also, like I said, if you're using the vertical live stream method, you can't link into chat.
Man.
You would have
you can't drop link, nothing. And see, it
doesn't work. It goes in and they can go in and type it out. They can see it, but it doesn't click. You can't click and just pop into chat, pop into stream.
See, and I want to hang in there, but I'm about to give up. Because I've invested. I have a mic coming for my morning vlogs to hear me better, but I'm about to give up on that vertical and go back to StreamYards.
Right. Vertical has its place for your morning vlogs. That'll be great. That's actually
so? Okay.
Because you're not trying to share links and you're not trying to invite people up on panel. You have no use for links in your chat. So that'll be fun for that. And since it's just you talking to the phone, that's exactly what that format was designed for. So it'll be fun, I think. When you're doing what's up, Flow State?
What up, Flow State?
I'm going to drop the link later, and you're one of those people who's invited. You know how that works. When you do you have a laptop? Are you working on a computer at all?
I work on a computer. My laptop's over there. If I have to buy one more charger, I'm just buying a new laptop. My charger comes in tomorrow. So I have a computer, a laptop, and 2 phones. So I even have a plan on how to go from vertical. How am I going to get to StreamYard? Like I got to figure this out.
Has a setting that will let you do it in vertical.
Does it?
Yes, and we'll walk through all of that after the show if you want to.
Let's look. Yeah,
there's a bunch in there that you see the buttons and they make sense when you look at them, but you don't realize that they do this, that, and some other things. What's up, Mr. Super Sidewinder? Welcome back, bud. Good to see you.
Okay.
I hear you. Vertical sucks in your opinion, and a lot of other people's opinions too. And it doesn't work very well for my format, but Bad Binky over there is blowing it the fuck up. Like, I was in there last night. I had 4 little people in my chat. And she had 60. So, like, okay, it's got its place.
See, Trig, when Trig does his, by the time he clicks off, he's at 13K views. His stays. He gains so many subs off of that vertical, but I don't have that traction.
The vertical, okay, like I was saying, the format matters. Some people watch vertical live streams. Some simply will not do it. The Smoking Auditor hates them so much. He'd rather watch him, and Swiss Miss will both rather watch them on Rumble rather than watch them on YouTube, because YouTube has the chat over the screen a little bit. When I do it in this format, I typically get a decent turnout because a lot of the people who watch live streams tune in to this format and don't mess with the shorts. But the people who do mess with the shorts live streams are numerous. There's a lot more of them than there are old school streamer style watchers. Here's another thing. Here's a question.
Go ahead.
Before we go too far. Are you going to set your content to 18 plus?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Because that'll have an effect on how hard it is to catch traction, because maintaining a age spread in your audience can become difficult without interacting with the shorts features. One of the hardest things I've had to deal with is the fact that I'm like 45 and I'm doing shorts. And so I have a perfect split of age categories. And it's because I do shorts and I do long live streams.
You have me thinking. You have me thinking a couple of things. Number one, is the vertical audience and the StreamYard audience, we're going to call the panel audience, do you think they'll be the same audience?
No, absolutely not. In fact,
I was wondering that. Okay.
YouTube actually firewalls you separately into different environments based off of the people.
That makes sense.
That's why when you go to a particular group, you tend to pick up other people in that group, right? They will show up and mess with you when other people in groups won't do it. So one of the reasons I do the show the way I do, it's about YouTube, not about it's about creation of content, not about me. I'm learning all of this stuff. I picked all of this stuff at 43. Haven't touched a computer since I was 17. And I just sat down and banged my head into the screen until it did what I wanted it to do. And it was not an easy trip. So I can imagine how other people are feeling out there just trying to figure out how a green screen works. It can be a problem. It's not conducive to communications. A lot of us don't have the language to speak about programs properly. And so we make up words in our heads and then have to explain what that means to each other in order for us to actually communicate.
Yeah, I do that.
It's the dingle hopper over there. I just poked the dingle hopper and it does the thing I want it to do. I don't know what it is.
The kids like that vertical though.
They do. And like I said, when you're just doing your morning stream, your little vlog, walk around in the yard, feed the dog, eat an apple, pair of freaking whatever. When you're just doing that, my wife just sprayed some freaking scent and it's rough. Well, I can taste it.
That's how my dog reacts when I spray scents too. He has a sensitive nose. I feel your pain.
Anyway, depending on what type of audience you're going for determines which format you'd rather do. But you have to make that decision before you go live because you really can't change it midway through.
Correct.
So if you're doing a panel, make sure it's a panel of specific people. And if you're going to invite anyone else up, you're going to have to get their email to email them the link in vertical.
Right.
On the other hand, or, phone number, whatever, however. On the other hand, if you're trying to do like an open panel style, you're going to have to do it in the standard format. But yeah, all of that's available on YouTube. I mean, on a StreamYard. And they don't have very much in the way of customization on the vertical panel yet, but they're working on it. It's obviously there to happen. What's up, Duke City Crew? Good to see you, bud.
Duke City Crew. I like saying that. Yeah.
It's good coming out of the mouth, don't it?
I know, Duke City Crew. Yeah. This the yeah.
Right. You want to see something cool?
What was I gonna ask about that?
I got the shirt.
Oh, here's an issue I have, Sash. My vertical audience likes me, but my panel audience scares them off.
Yeah, no, you're gonna have that problem, and it's because you came from the deep swamp of the panelverse. Because these people are more physically visceral. They are more involved and have been around longer. They feel like they own more space in the stream. So when
Yeah.
you go into a vertical and people come in and drop some smart ass comment and everybody dog piles on them, that doesn't feel great and they don't come back.
Right. And so I meet some really unique people that I want to have conversations with because they have content that's like interesting, whether it be makeup and people I can network with. And as soon as they come over here, they never come back because of the situations that I have going on, or they happen to click on the panel and the panel's out of control and they just back away and never come back.
Do you really have situations taking place, or do you have perceived situations taking place? Because most of the situations I find myself in are perceived by others. I'm not in
Well,
it.
well, it's a lot of the badness sometimes. So I have to be careful on much I respond back because I would still want other people to come see me. So that's a balance I'm learning to work through right now.
Right. And that's going to be a further problem in the future.
Mm.
The more you interact with negative personalities, the more negative your channel will be perceived.
Yeah, I don't want that.
I am firmly a positive content creator. I go through great lengths to benefit the people that I put on Sasquatch Shills, and I don't accept donations, and I'm not monetized, and I pass those tiers a while back. So it's mainly I want to see better content. So I'm going to help you make better content, and you're going to go make that better content so I can watch it.
Yes, absolutely. My personality is going to shine through.
I don't want your personality. I want better content.
Oh,
but I hope
but that's the content. Oh, that's not the content. Uh-oh. I might be a lot to learn.
Narcissist.
I'm not the content. Oh, no, we've got cooking, taking care of plants.
Hey, John, that's bullshit. No, Flo, you can't donate to you for me. You don't pay me. So no, that don't work. What's up, Chuck? Welcome in, bud. Good to see you.
What up, Joe?
Right? Joe, cool baby.
Yeah. Does Lucky what was his name?
Lucky Laptop.
Does Lucky Laptop and Joe know each other?
I'm sure they do. I don't know if Joe's courted him yet, but I'm sure they know each other. Joe, I love Joe to death. I do. I wish he'd come do a Sasquatch Shills, but hell, he won't even answer the damn text I send him. He's just one of those.
Joe calls the upper echelon. We have to work our way up.
Motherfucker, he ain't upper shit, but high. Sorry. He just high as hell. He got you fully fucking flummoxed, man.
Yeah, I need some of his laugh clips. That's funny. That other guy, because I need some of y'all's laugh clips.
On one of my old cell phones, I've got a clip of him laughing as my text message. When I get a text message, I can't do the laugh, but you know the one. It's that.
Yes, I know the one. I'm trying to find it somewhere else. I haven't found it.
My favorite part is when he comes out, and he reminds me so much of the sheriff from Blazing Saddles. He's like, "Hello, officers. Isn't it a fine day today?" And they're like, "Take 2 steps back." He's like, "Fuck you, motherfucker. I don't want to God."
I like the one where he's sitting in the cop car and the cops asked him a question. He's like, "So where are you going?" And he's like, "I don't have to tell you that." And then they get in the car and the cop asks Joe, "So you don't know where you're going?" And Joe's like, "Be nice."
Nice, motherfucker.
He's like, he just says, "Be nice." And that was because he did try to switch the question. And I was like, dang.
I think I'm gonna do that. I think after the show tonight, I'm gonna go through. In fact, I might do it in the After Dark section at the tail end.
Yeah, I clipped
I'm gonna go through and go find some of Joe's best laughs and just clip them for clips to use.
Thank you guys for the subs. I do appreciate it. But yeah, Joe's funny. I like Joe. One day Joe will promote us.
when I host people, now you've already met him, so you know what you're dealing with. But when I host folks in my sphere, quite typically after they meet me, they come across Joe Cool, and I tell them, once you have gone through the fires of Joe Cool,
the initiation
if you survive
process,
out the other end, you're good in my book, man. I mean, you at least, he doesn't care what you believe, but he wants you to fucking believe it. He wants you to be specific too. If you can't believe it and be specific, then you're probably lying.
And be nice. Just be nice.
I'm always nice, baby.
No, I'm saying he just wants you to be nice. Everybody to be nice.
All right, you know what you've done? You've done a show.
Yay! My first one. I've never been on anybody else's panel talk. I mean, I've been on other panels, but not interviewed by them.
This isn't a normal panel. This is not designed for a normal panel. This is literally an expose on your content, what you're doing, how you got here, why you do it, and what you plan to do with it in the future. So you've got 3 minutes. Throw me your channel pitch.
All right, so my name's Cynthia. I have a YouTube content creator show where we just examine life. We go through everyday life just as everybody else does. Together, we're going to grow in conversations, and I got some big plans coming ahead as far as some donations and some going out there in life and helping and just seeing what life is like for a woman in Texas. I got to work on that. I need an elevator pitch.
Yeah, basically. That's another aspect of this is I've got several previous guests that have come through and put together enough ability. What's up, Midlife Bro Logic? He's over there in Rumble. Because he's one of those people.
What are those people?
He's also one of the people that hasn't been a guest, but I'll let him up on a panel after.
Oh, gotcha.
I've been on panel with him before, so I can recognize his voice and stuff. It's his thing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, do you want to do the talk out or do you want me to do it?
You can do the talk out because it turns out I don't need much to learn.
Well, you do need to.
I do appreciate you allowing me to come up.
Absolutely. And like I said, previous Sasquatch Shills has an after dark afterwards. It's about an hour long, and we go over old crimes, new crimes, Ponzi schemes, conspiracy theories, freaking.
What crime are y'all on right now?
American chestnut trees. We go over everything, but that's the whole point. So I'm gonna stick you backstage for a second, do my little talk out, and then we'll be right back with you in just a minute.
Thank you.
4 minutes. So if you've got to go to the bathroom or anything, get a drink, make a cup of coffee, whatever, it's perfect time for it. Coffee. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's been Sasquatch Shills, and I appreciate each and every one of y'all for coming in. I love each and every one of you like a brother and a sister, but I want to be perfectly clear. If you give me any trouble tonight, I'll run every damn one of y'all off of here. What are the humans doing?
Do you think you're ready? Can you handle the truth? Or are you in denial and demanding more proof? They demonstrate in real time how they're spinning you lies, but no one pays attention, no one opens their eyes. They walk around like zombies with their head in the mobiles, signaling their virtues with a pick on their profile. Yeah. Signaling their virtues with a pick on their profile. So if you think you're ready, you don't need more proof. Conspiracy deniers are denying the truth. They fabricate our problems and pretend to provide the best solution, but we all know they lied. They lied about the weapons and they lied about health. They lied about the fact that they're transferring the wealth. You should really notice how they're pushing the fear. Keep everybody terrified and not thinking clear. Yeah. Everybody's not thinking clear. Yeah. Keep everybody terrified. Yeah, thinking and not thinking. Keep everybody terrified and not thinking clear. When you do, you realize that this is the trick. It's getting really stupid now, they're taking the mick. Said, do you think you're ready? Can you handle the truth? Or are you in denial and demanding more proof? They demonstrate in real time how they're spinning you lies. But no one pays attention, no one opens their eyes. They walk around like zombies with their head in the mobiles, signaling their virtues with a pic on their profile. Yeah, signaling their virtues on their profile. Hey.
If you leave again, will you get me cigarettes?
Sure.
You too. I smoke menthols.
Nope, not doing it. I love you too much for that. Hold on.
So are we still live on your page?
We are still live on my channel. Yes.
Okay. Right.
What up, your channel?
Would you like me to start your Rumble?
What?
I can't make any claims as far as copyright claims after this point. Everything before this point is non-copyrightable. It's all open source, I suppose.
We can just let it ride.
All right. Re-click my clicky thing. Where's my clicky thing? Hold up. Yeet, yeet. There it is.
I got one of these clicky things now. Man, I'm living the high life. One of these $100 mouse.
Yeah. No, dude, one of the very first things I bought was one of those super duper gaming mouses, you know? Is that the thumb mouse thing?
This is the thumb mouse thing, yeah. And I got only one of them's even set. Actually, none of them are set up right now. I got 2 extra monitors, and this is all from when I was helping my buddy move. You know how that works. You show up to be a nice guy, and you walk away with all their shit.
Right. Well, I mean, they don't need it. They're moving anyway. What's up, Michelle? Welcome in. Lindsay, you too. Okay, so I've got a couple of videos lined up over here. Cynthia has a particular interest in true crimes type stuff, and on my last stream we stumbled across an unsolved case that was mentioned in passing in another video, and everybody asked me to go find it, and I went and found it, and we've got a Lore Lodge video set up for it.
Sounds like it's going to be a good night.
Well, it depends on whether or not y'all find this interesting or not. It's totally up to you whether we just sit here and do a panel verse or how you want to handle it. The link is over there, although I am picky on who comes on my panel. And if you want to be offended by that, go right ahead. It does not bother me.
That smoking auditor guy is always starting shit everywhere he goes.
I know, man. He's just too nice for his own good. That's how I think. See, people.
That's how he gets in places. People think he's just a nice guy, and the next thing you know, he's infected all your computers with viruses and infected your girlfriend with a baby. And
yeah, it's one of those things, right? Damn it, function. Do it right. All right, Cynthia, you back yet?
Okay.
Are you familiar with the disappearance of Stacy Arras?
No. Is that his real name?
Who? Where?
Okay. What? No. Because there was someone else that I was checking into, and they had a fake name, and their fake name was Stacy, but I don't think that's the real one. The one I'm thinking of, I mean.
In July of 1981, Stacy Arras was on a horseback riding trip through Yosemite National Park, but by the end of the trip, she was missing. I'm so curious about the horse.
I was about to ask about the horse as well.
Probably ate the horse to survive.
Well,
Did they find the horse?
Well, that's the question. That's what I'm so curious about, because that would answer an awful lot of questions, right? if let's say she got took down by a cougar, if she was on the horse when it happened, the horse would almost definitely either have blood or scratch marks on it from the dismount.
Right.
Okay. Also, you would expect the horse to show up absolutely freaked out, not just come wandering in and start eating hay. It's possible the horse bucked her and she just cracked her skull and is laying out there in the desert. I mean,
right, which is, where did the horse go? Did somebody find the horse and just thinks, oh, lucky day, I found a horse?
I'm assuming you're familiar with the Lore Lodge.
No.
No? Oh my God, it's one of the best true crime channels on YouTube. Right up there with that chapter and what is it? Crime and Coffee? Coffee and Crime.
Okay, yeah, I know Crime and Coffee.
Right.
Okay.
This dude, he has kind of his own way about going about things. It sometimes seems a little backwards, but there's a reason for it.
Okay.
He approaches cold cases the way I approach solved cases, right? I will not work an active case. I won't do it. I won't even look at the detail. I won't touch that shit with a 10-foot pole. And let me tell you why. Let's say I glance through all the details and my autism finds one thing and goes, oh, well, she's in the manhole cover behind the restaurant. Like, she never left the restaurant. She's right there. And I'm right. The only way I could possibly be right about some silly bullshit like that is if I was the one that perpetrated the crime, and that will put me right in the crosshairs of fucking investigation.
Right.
And look at him. If he becomes a suspect, he's guilty.
I'm so fucked, dude.
Yeah. Drake has talked about crime shows, and then the detectives have called him and used some of the key phrases that Trig says, we watch your show all the time. So he stopped talking about open cases too.
Well, that's the thing is, like I said, if you just read them across some detail that the freaking detectives missed, or they don't realize the significance of, or they've never cleaned out a manhole, you know,
right?
I mean, it's just like, for instance, and I'm not a big fan of going over this, but I'm almost convinced. I don't have any evidence. I can't prove it. There's no receipts. It's still an open case. Summer Wells is still in the house. She never left the house. I'm absolutely convinced, because they had 20 people searching that property within 10 minutes of her disappearing. But no one searched the house.
Yeah,
Throughout
see that?
the entire case, there is no reference to the house being fully searched. People looked through it, but this is a really weird house. If you go look at the video, it's a split level house that has an add-on on it that also has a split level section,
which means there's a secret room somewhere.
There's a space. It doesn't even have to be a room. It's just a space big enough for to crawl into and not necessarily be able to get out of, and you can't hear her when she's screaming or whatever.
We got a new suspect.
Right?
Right. No, he's right. Like people they go to the extremes to they just don't wake up. They take years planning their takedowns and their victories.
Really?
Yeah.
How can you plan a victory if the battle's not fought?
You can go and get a 5-gallon bucket of and then put all of your supplies into random places throughout the United States. So when you have the urge, you're no longer on video buying it. It's already ready, prepared in random locations.
Lord, you are a terrifying person.
I've been trying to say this since I met Cynthia. She is the most dangerous person on this panel.
That's how you get out. That's how they can never catch you on the Walmart. So there's someone who's actually done this.
I'm sorry. Did I miss something? This thing just took a weird left turn.
No, this is how to get away with murder by Cynthia.
No, it's not. Do y'all know how many interrogation? I have been obsessed with crime since Colin Davis killed his.
You're not doing anything to make yourself look less scary.
No favors done here.
Whatever. Okay, just I'm invested in crime, but go ahead. I'm interested in this.
Chicks love violence. All chicks love violence, but only a few of them have victory buckets placed around the country.
I don't have victory buckets. I'm just saying it's an example.
Right, you got a big old X to doubt on that one. I might have a victory bucket or two, but damn it. I think we're supposed
We
to.
know to look under manhole covers for yours.
I don't know. No, it's way better than that.
when I was like 8 years old, I watched the Phil Donahue show. Y'all remember Phil Donahue?
Yeah.
And it was a lady who was being stalked because she put an ad in a paper for a leather jacket and he started stalking her. So she came up and she like booby trapped her whole house and she started telling like she had razor blade box cutters taped under every piece of furniture. She had things that would fall.
You have to see. There you go. All right, you can bring your cover up if you want.
Whoa.
What the fuck are we looking at here? Pikachu?
What is going on?
That's why I was like, no, that's not good enough, bro. I know who you are, but no.
What was that?
I feel like I'm trapped between two serial killers here.
No,
you might be. Just never done it yet. As far as anyone knows. You never know.
Today might be that day. Don't push me.
Huh.
Well, if you need a victory bucket, hit up Cynthia. She probably got them all over your area.
First of all, apparently, I guess y'all just did it. I thought everybody knew about this. Like, y'all don't ever wonder if y'all just going to find one.
Find one what? Wait, what? Did we take another left turn? I wasn't prepared for.
Y'all don't ever just, like, if I find a 5-gallon bucket, I'm opening it. And when I find it...
I already know where some are buried.
Cynthia, that's not your buckets.
Not your bucket, not your monkey or your.
Look, I followed somebody's plan.
There are 5-gallon buckets everywhere. You must.
You spend all of your time every day.
We found this woman at the construction site.
She just keeps snorting lines of this.
She's been here all weekend. She keeps hitting this light bulb and opening all the buckets.
Whatever. I'm helping solve crime.
But
Ma'am, put the light bulb down.
You're
solving a murder. Pop.
You're the most likely on panel to discover a head.
Okay,
turns out she just dried out 150 gallons of paint
on the side of the road, but he wasn't dead.
All right, so what do we think's up with Stacy Arras? Was she attacked by a mountain lion? Did she trip and fall over? She broke a leg?
Well, we got to figure out what happened to the horse.
That's going to be involved in the same story. But I'm asking, with no further information than that she went for a horse ride with a group of people and didn't come back. Was she murdered?
Wait, with a
how did she get separated?
Yeah.
We haven't gone in. We have no information. All we know is a young lady went horse riding with a group of people, and when the group of people reached the destination, she wasn't there. That's all the information we have so far.
I think someone spooked her horse. The horse jumped, kicked her off. She hit her head, and they kept riding after their goal was achieved, thinking they just played a prank.
Really?
I'll just throw that out there. It's a guess in the blue.
When did this happen?
81, I think. 1981.
Oh, and she's never. Wait a minute. She's never been found. The horse.
No. I don't know nothing. I'm telling you, we don't have any information. This is why we're doing this. This is before we hear anything about the actual case. Was it negligence, malfeasance, or murder?
It was in Yosemite.
Yes. Are you Googling it?
Okay. Wasn't this where David's brother was? Do y'all remember David, the young boy that was kidnapped at a rest stop when he was young, and he was touched and stuff, but he was eventually found.
I'm still wondering how much paint you vandalized over the years.
He was eventually found 5 or 6 years later, and it became like a huge thing because he saved another little boy from the same
Yeah,
thing
this is
happening.
not the case we're going over. If you want
I
to
know,
go
but listen, David's brother was a killer in Yosemite. He lived up there around this time. He was a serial killer up there.
there was a single question asked that began this diatribe, and the question is, do you think it is negligence, malfeasance, or murder?
Murder.
Okay. So it's in the chat if you want to join the chat and click on the poll over there. It's there if you wish. Let's see where it goes.
Has got it going on. Stacy herself has been missing since 1981. I'm Aiden Mattis, and welcome back to the Lore Lodge.
I might enjoy these too much.
On July 17th, 1981, Stacy Arras was on a horseback riding and camping trip with her father, George, in Yosemite National Park. The pair had ridden with a group of 6 other people up to Sunrise High Sierra Camp on the Yosemite High Sierra Trail. In this region during the month of July, I could not find actual weather data, but it did hover around 70 degrees with a low closer to 50, although in certain portions it could get as low as 40 degrees. Stacy herself was approximately 5'5", 120 pounds, with light blonde hair and retainers on both her upper and lower teeth. It was noted by searchers, including her father, that she could appear between the ages of 12 and 16, depending on her outfit and her hairstyle. The group arrived in the Sunrise High Sierra Camp around mid-afternoon on Friday, July 17th, 1981.
Welcome in, ATL.
The plan was to rest for the night and then continue down the trail the next morning. Now, this camp had 9 cabins that slept about 34 people. Sometime after arriving, Stacy invited her father, George, to actually go on a walk down the trail and take some pictures, a nice little scenic nature hike. And unfortunately, George wasn't really feeling up for it, but he did recommend to Stacy that she change out of the flip-flops she was wearing into a pair of hiking boots, something that she obliged to do. Now, Stacy was also wearing an off-white windbreaker, a white blouse or t-shirt, as well as shorts with red and maroon and white stripes, as well as baby blue pinstripes throughout. She also donned gray hiking boots, a gold anklet, and blue dot earrings. And as far as possessions go, it was noted that she was carrying gum, her Olympus camera, as well as possibly, but not certainly, a pack of cigarettes. Following her father's advice, she did put on the hiking boots and proceeded to make her way towards the trail. Along the way, she ran into a man named Gerald Stewart, who oddly enough does not have a certain age. They just say that he's between 70 and 77, depending on the source that you read. Interestingly enough, Gerald's name also isn't mentioned in any of the contemporary reports. I had to go into more recent stuff, including David Paulides' work, to find that man's name, and his age remains uncertain. I've seen 70, 72, and 77, although it probably could be anywhere in that range. It doesn't really matter as far as his part of the story goes, but it is odd to me that there's no actual, defined age here, and that his name is not mentioned until reports that came out 20, 30 years later. So Gerald and Stacy headed off towards one of the lakes in the area. Gerald would follow her for about 20 to 30 minutes before deciding that he was just too tired to continue and sitting down along the trail on a log or a rock. Now, of course, there's also a missing piece here, because we don't know, based on the reports, which lake Stacy was actually headed to. There's Tenaya Lake, but that's 5 miles to the northwest. There's also Long Meadow, which is a flooded portion of a river that sits about 900 feet to the southeast of the camp. But the most likely explanation is that she was headed for Sunrise Lakes, exactly a mile away, at least the nearest one. Now, if we go by the fact that Gerald said he walked with her for 20 to 30 minutes and didn't quite reach the lake, that means that he probably made it a mile, maybe half a mile. If he walked for 20 to 30 minutes, then he was going very slowly and probably sat down in view of, but not next to the lake. But we know, because he didn't reach the lake, that it must have been at least half a mile away from the campsite, because nobody really walks slower than 1 mile an hour, even on a trail like that. Even at his age, he probably would have been able to at least make a 1 mile an hour pace.
Has anyone else caught an issue yet?
I have no issues.
Okay. All right. So here's
I'm here to bring resolutions.
A 77-year-old man walked along with a girl on a horse.
That's what I'm saying.
That horse would have been able to take 3 steps and stop and wait a few minutes for that guy to catch up. This doesn't add up. I don't know why it shouldn't be a thing. But this is something reported by other people so it's basically hearsay at this point. But this is an early report.
Maybe he found a 5-gallon bucket to pry open and rummage through.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking.
I'm saying David's brother was up there.
Okay. But was he 77 years old?
No, but he might have had friends.
Actually a mile long. The distance from the camp to the lake, as the crow flies, is not a mile. It's slightly less. The trail takes a little bit of a windy road, and that adds some distance to it. So again, half an hour at 1 mile an hour would equal about half that mile. After separating from Gerald, Stacy wasn't seen for several hours, and as another group of hikers approached the campsite, Gerald actually asked them, "Hey, have you seen a girl? She looks like this. Her name is Stacy. She's carrying a camera," and none of them had seen her. So when he discovered this, it was time to start looking. So everybody got together, they contacted the park authorities, and the staff from the actual Sunrise High Sierra camp did involve themselves in the search. And for the first night, they looked all over the place before the actual National Park Service itself launched their full-fledged search the next day. This search involved up to 100 people from various different search and rescue organizations, usually working in groups of 10 to 20. Of those 100 people that were involved, about half of them were volunteers and half of them were paid, either search and rescue or National Park Service employees. Regular searchers were paid $4 an hour and rock climbers were paid $10 an hour, according to documents from the actual National Parks report. For the next 11 days...
Why do we have rock climbers? Have any of y'all ever worked search and rescue at all?
No.
Okay. My experience is largely in hills and swamps and not so much in rock and cliff type area. But I wouldn't expect you to break out rock climbers unless you have reason to believe she would be climbing rock.
Cynthia still got me fucked up on her 5-gallon buckets.
Yeah, I know. All right. She saw a 5-gallon bucket up in the rocks, so she had to climb up there. We're gonna
like, at what point does opening 5-gallon buckets become a felony?
When you find the head, don't report it.
When you've ruined 500 gallons of paint on a job site?
I don't think it would take 500 gallons of paint, man.
It'd take like 5 buckets.
You'd be hitting a felonious level right around $1,000, right? I guess.
No, there is a criminal somewhere that is going to go find his 5-gallon bucket, and when he goes, it's going to be gone, and he's not going to be able to do what he had planned to do because I fought the crime.
If only everybody was such a diligent sleuth as you are, we'd never have anything painted in this country.
Think about it. You find a 5-gallon bucket with plastic duct tape, maybe a few other supplies, some food, some water.
Zip ties, yes. Knives.
I always kept my zip ties on the headboard. So
this sounds like a SHTF situation more than a crime.
Oh, thank you.
She has the fan thing.
Oh, okay.
Fucking duct tape, some food, a couple of pieces of plastic, maybe a shovel. This isn't anything to get the twist about. This is just somebody trying to make sure they've got stuff in the event that they're traveling through the area. And you stole his bucket.
Whatever.
That was his survival bucket.
Doomsday preppers out there who have 5-gallon buckets full of rice and peanut butter.
I'll leave buckets.
Now they got 5-gallon buckets full of mouse shit because somebody let the mice in.
Right. It's all Cynthia's fault. We're going to blame her.
What?
It was defined by natural barriers that they determined that a 14-year-old likely couldn't cross, such as cliffs, ravines, and deep or wide rivers. So they basically metered out, all right, where could Stacy have gotten to within the time she's been missing that she would not have to climb over anything or swim, because it didn't really make a ton of sense that she would even be doing that. Now, there were reports that Stacy had been having trouble with her family or was missing her boyfriend or something along those lines, but nothing to the extent that people genuinely believed that she tried to use this as an opportunity to run away. Why wait until they were at the High Sierra camp? Why not take the horse? Why would she be wanting to leave wearing flip-flops? There's just really no evidence that she was trying to run away, trying to disappear. So she must have gone missing. And the prime possibility for this, the thing that was being looked into the most, was an abduction. Now, who would have abducted Stacy? They're not really sure. They were not in a place that was easy to access, and as far as they know, nobody else saw her. The last person to see her was Gerald, but Gerald had met them through the horse riding group on the trail. So it was very unlikely that he planned to abduct Stacy before they got there. And in 1981, nobody had cell phones. They didn't exist yet. So there's just no real way that he could have communicated with somebody elsewhere that they were going to abduct her. So Gerald is kind of out as a suspect here. Now, he is the last person to see her, and if they were looking for a murder, perhaps he would be an option. But again, at the same time, a 14-year-old girl, a 5'5" 14-year-old girl,
that's good enough.
Probably could.
What up, Joe Cole?
Is that Joe?
Taking a smoke break, man. So I have no idea what you guys are talking about. Forgive me.
Cynthia opens all the 5-gallon buckets she comes across.
Oh my gosh, Joe. He's all
wait. Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. Just because I know the type of person Cynthia is, I'm assuming we're thinking body parts.
No, that was my thought, dude. That's what I said. She's the most.
No.
What I'm thinking is,
what
I'm thinking is, there goes the profit margin out of the fucking job.
Why is she opening 5-gallon jugs? I don't understand. I thought it was
serial killers put together buckets with all their tools and they bury them throughout the United States. And if I see
bodies buried in those buckets, you're thinking,
are these only the buckets that you find when you dig, or are these ones that are just laying around that you pop open?
No, they're just
you
like
couldn't dig them all. They'd have to be
they're in a random place and stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh, is this one?
Are you serious?
What if their factory sealed? Do you?
That's kind of cool.
Of course, they're going to be sealed. That's what they want you to think. I'm not falling for it.
Home Depot,
bro.
Even the one, do you avoid job sites, or do you,
right? Do you at least avoid job sites?
I do go to the job sites, but I ask them.
There's open cases looking for her. She's been vandalized paint on more job sites across the country.
If they're not using all of the wood, or if they have spares,
they call her the Texas Terror because she opens all the paint buckets and dries them all out.
All the fucking drywall mud goes.
My grandfather.
I'm pretty sure.
After she opens the bucket.
One afternoon, Cynthia wipes out the entire construction company.
Yes, we got a picture of her and all of that shit.
Bankrupt.
What?
I'm pretty sure you can open up a 5-gallon bucket of paint and close it without it drying up.
She's too busy getting to the next bucket. She don't have time for this. She's got to find these body parts.
What about suitcases? Because everything I read and see, people always put bodies in suitcases and throwing them into the water.
Mm-hmm. And ice chest.
I have an interesting observation. Florida doesn't have a huge missing persons count.
Florida doesn't?
Yeah, no, if you get missing in Florida, they don't really go looking for you. There's too many alligators out there to be trying that silly shit because you're on the menu.
Exactly.
So, like,
you certainly won't last in them swamps, but
right? Yeah, no, it takes some real country boys to go whooping on some damn swamp puppies.
And if you've been to Florida, I always imagine it was like swamp, and any body of water will have crocodiles in it.
Yeah,
I thought it'd be swamp. You got to take one of those boats with the fans on the back.
No. Man, I've always wanted to ride on one of those fan boats. Those things look tits.
They're loud as hell, dude.
They look awesome.
They look fun.
You've never been on a fan boat? I assume you were born on a fan boat.
I have been on one. They're loud as all get out, but I haven't gone far. They just crunk it up and like
those crazy white people probably chase your people on fan boats. Sasquatch, you probably hate those things. It's your natural enemy.
Maybe so.
More Sasquatches are killed every year by fan boats.
By fan boats.
Hold up, I got a thing. Let me do it.
Sasquatches and manatees just mows them down.
Damn it, that's the wrong one. Where's the other one? There it is.
Yeah, I
Notice
think he
Abraham
crushed the
Lincoln
boat.
Sasquatch.
Yeah, the boat wouldn't stand a chance in that big motherfucker.
This Sasquatch cannot tell a lie. He chopped down your cherry tree.
Damn sure did. It's good too. Use it to
That
smoke.
Sasquatch looks like it could be on like a commemorative $1 coin or something.
Right. He'd also a little ripped there.
Yeah.
Twisted as fuck.
I was in somebody's room when you do a thumb up or a heart. It was
Oh,
showing
yeah,
up on
Oh,
the
that's
screen.
you. Yeah,
The
you do
iPhones
that.
iPhones
Joe?
do that.
I ain't doing it now. I don't know.
Try
Yeah, my son.
putting your thumb in front of the
It
white
does
wall.
with your thumb. It does your thumb a lot.
What are you talking about? I think Joe's in the wrong chat.
Are you on your iPhone, Joe? Are you on your
I
iPhone?
am. I remember.
Okay,
I
then
only
yeah,
brought
it
one
should be
phone
doing
with me. And it's feel like I'm crippled.
You know,
I use
Cynthia,
like
the
4
maintenance
inch
room
thumb.
of your apartment complex probably has a whole bunch of buckets that have not been looked through.
Listen,
Have you tried?
the mate. Those are the first people I go and link up with because y'all never heard about the bathtub murderers, and it was the
No,
maintenance
please
crew.
tell us.
When I lived in my
No, I'm gonna
apartments,
Google
when
it.
I was in these apartments when I was younger and pregnant with my first son, there was a maintenance worker that would go into the ladies' apartments and kill them, and then he would
Where
leave.
you live?
Yeah, in the apartments where, yeah.
No
And I
wonder
had-
you are the way you
I had
are.
these white
Yes.
friends. I had some white
Trauma.
friends. They set bombs off. Like they set bombs off. Like you open their doors, you would have like stuff would have happened to you because they were so paranoid. But I moved out.
This
and
is
it
why you
turned-
got to have your white friends around.
Right. And it turned
Yes.
right. To this day, I wish I would have had them teach me how to make
I
that.
can concur.
Wait.
So,
When you're done, I got an anti-white friend explosive
Yeah.
story.
I should have paid attention to that, but it turned out to be the maintenance guy. So I always go build relations with the maintenance guy,
So do you
so they can see if I'm
do you
cool
build
or not.
booby traps too now?
Oh yeah, I got box cutters, everything. I don't
learned
let.
it from the white people.
Yeah,
I got
as a
some white
female,
friends.
All right, Joe. What's your
In
anti-white people story?
Hold on.
In
Give me my
college,
anti-white people story. Do it.
in
Everybody's
college,
listening.
I was the only black guy on the floor in what do you call it, in the dorm, and my friends made fireworks for the 4th of July. They were like this big, it's an M80. I'm like, that's like 4 sticks of dynamite, bro. And the rockets they made, homemade shooting rockets, they were big like this, right? And they're shooting out our window. Then they said, we're gonna go over to the girls' dorm and let off some M80s. The shit was so big that we had, in the dorms got floor to ceiling, like 12, 13, 14 foot windows, and they're massive, like the size of a king size bed. And they blew them all out. That's how powerful it was. They thought terrorists had come clicking over to college. My mom called, wanted me to come home. And I told her, it's my friends. I hid out for 2 weeks. I came back. There was a police on my door, a black police officer waiting for me to come home. I hid some more. And then when I come home, all the people, all my friends were getting thrown out to college and shit like that. Their parents was up there. So fuck white people and explosives, man. Yeah, they would read that terrorists at Northern
Wait, did you get
Illinois
thrown
University. I did not. I stayed with some of my white friends for weeks. I come back the first week, the cop was still on my door, and then I come back, and by then they must have figured everything out. Everybody was moving their shit out and everything, and no police were there. But I heard one of my white buddies named Russ for about, I don't know, a couple of weeks or so. Yeah, I was wearing his sweatpants around campus.
One of my white buddies got thrown out the dorms because he threw a fridge off of the 8th floor balcony. Apparently, they don't like it when you throw a fridge off the 8th floor balcony.
That's crazy. I just found that Reddick has gore.
Shout out to Jack, wherever you are.
Yes.
Probably prison.
Yes, Reddit. The people fucking units fall out of windows for real, and they got them on Reddit where motherfuckers just walking down the street and someone drops a fucking refrigerator unit or air conditioned AC out the window and it just kills them, and they just it sits on Reddit, man.
Have you ever
He
seen
didn't kill anybody, but the corner of that fridge went deep into the ground.
Can you imagine 8 floors of fridge? Your boy crazy, bro.
Have you ever seen a window child play area?
Huh?
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Back in the
Windowed.
day, they used to have these little cages they would put.
That's what I thought. I had envisioned that, but I was like, no way.
I'm sure
Sasquatch is about to do that thing where he one-ups all of our stories. He like 10-ups the story.
Yeah.
I've got one of
Go
those.
ahead.
And I can't tell it on YouTube. I'm not sure how long the statute of limitations is on explosives.
Yeah, I got some of those, bro. Yeah.
Better
Ain't no
safe than
statute of
sorry.
limitations on this shit.
But I will
Go
say
ahead.
there is a small fishing pond in Georgia that wasn't previously there.
Explosives. What about the caged white kids, man? That was gonna be a good one. Are you
Caged
telling me
white
that?
kids.
Yes. Are you telling me
Cynthia
that, like,
could have saved the
leashes?
caged white kids, but she was too busy looking in paint cans.
Empty buckets and
I'm
shit.
working on it, dude.
But the leashes, that's just pure entertainment gold. When white people put leashes on their kid, I got a friend who does it. I troll with no end. And if you're about to tell me there's a box that they
There
put
it
him
is.
in the play like I
No.
put my dog in, so
There
when he's bad,
it
this
is.
is gonna be.
Bam. Here you go. Here you go right here, bud.
Go get in your cage. That's what we do to the dog. Yes, I remember that over the window.
Yeah,
That was a real thing. Yes.
Looks just like a window unit. So back in the day, these
Yes.
there were reports of people walking down like 7th Street, New York, and kids just falling from like the 15th floor or whatever.
Yes.
Man, what the
There's
fuck is
video.
up with white people with their white people shit? I'm turning black looking at this shit.
One of my buddies, a white college professor, when I was younger, he used to tell me, Joe, you didn't know white people are black people biggest source of entertainment. I was barely out of my teens or something, but now I totally understand. You guys are funny, bro. I went to a college and we were teaching motherfuckers, and it was one of those nights where you got to be kind of liberal with your shit. And at this time, we had rap videos and shit out. And I played one of the videos and explained to them the lingo in the video. It went over huge. And my boy, the white guy who told me that, his friend comes in and wants to follow my act with a ukulele. I couldn't get him to stay in that fucking class. So he's like, no fucking way. You see what I'm talking about? No fucking way am I going back in there. What the fuck, you know?
You know what trips me out about people who play the ukulele? They think they're just as cool as people who play.
Yes, he thought he was the dominant nigga.
They do think they're awesome. They have no idea the irony.
Yes. He'd exuded confidence, and he was like, you want to go first, man? Like he doing me a favor and shit. He was so arrogant. And it didn't change nothing. The fact that I got thunderous applause, oh my God, didn't change nothing. He's like, now I'm gonna come in here and crush it with my ukulele. Oh, it was bad, bro.
Oh wow. It's like somebody showing up with a harmonica. It's like, wait, dude, hold on.
Yes, I used to rag hard on them until I saw that one movie. So, but I used to get harmonica. One of the ones is it bagpipes that make that sound.
Yeah.
Right? That's horrible.
Bagpipes are cool. Fuck you. Bagpipes are awesome.
See?
Hold on. First of all, I am descended from Scottish heritage heavily.
As am I.
That being said,
this is getting
when
good.
I went on my our honeymoon, mine and my wife's honeymoon, the first day we're there, I spent the whole time hammering shots like it was going out of style, just because
You're like, fuck, I'm married.
Well, I mean, you
did it.
We showed up and sat down, and we drank a pint of a Jack Daniels like right off the beach immediately.
She was like, "Fuck, I'm married."
They're like, "Fuck, I get it too, bro."
All honesty, I told her not to marry me. So did my mom. But anyway, I'm there on my honeymoon.
What is that like to have your mom shoot you in the back like that?
He's like, yeah, right. No, he's serious. Don't marry him, bro.
It was good advice. I can't fault her for giving good advice. I ended up being a junkie for 15 fucking years. Like,
oh, poor baby.
But anyway,
great times.
First night of my
wait. Did she stick with it, or is she gone now? Was she smart?
Yeah, she's still in there. She's
very good.
A little bit.
Put a PayPal up. Put a cash ass up. She's the same guys. She's stuck with Sasquatch.
What's up, Johnny? Well, welcome in, bud. Good to see you.
Johnny,
right.
was good.
So on my very first morning of being married, I wake up to bagpipes at dawn, but it's not just any bagpipes at dawn. It's literally the Highland theme, and someone is nailing it. And I wake up, and my wife goes, "What the fuck is that?" And I said, "Outlawed tunes on an outlawed pipe." And I got up out of bed in my jammies and walked down the beach, and there was this section of a dock that had washed up on its side, and a dude was standing in full Highland regalia playing bagpipes to the rising sun. And every single day that I was there that week, that until he didn't show up, I was there at like 6 o'clock in the morning waiting patiently for that man to go there. He never said a word to me. He just walked up, played it, walked away, and I went home.
Flo, you're right. There, he had to top us again with the fucking and full bagpipe regalia at 6
you can't
o'clock
tell
on
any
the beach.
stories around Caucasian Sasquatch. I'm surprised you haven't heard about the time he goes around popping open 50-gallon drums just to look for the murderers that he found inside of them.
But I don't want to go to jail.
Jail sucks.
Cynthia, I
Joe Cool
apologize.
wants
You
to go to
guys
jail.
are onto some. Yeah, I try all the time. Apparently, I got some good stories.
Be
I'm going
nice.
back tomorrow.
Be nice.
Right? They say as you're yelling at people to be nice, Joe. That's what, but Cynthia, what were you just doing? I don't forget. It was a black guy paused on. No, it was a white dude paused on the screen, and he said a couple words. I assume you're showing one of your murder videos or something.
One of that, right?
That's the dick sucking face right there.
That's not mine. That's that.
You're actually on my channel tonight, bro.
Oh, what do I know? All right.
Okay.
What are we looking at? I'm just had a break from editing. I need somebody to smoke with.
So, this is the disappearance of Stacy Arras, who left a campground on horseback with a group of people and disappeared, just literally walked off of the earth into non-existence.
Well, I'm not a detective, but you go pressure the hell out the other 7 horseback riders.
Right. This was in 1981. We have almost all of the information available. It's all in this video. I have one question I'm still waiting to have answered. Was the horse ever found, and where was the horse? That's my question.
I got a bunch of questions, and I see why you got Cynthia here, because he's the first person I would have called. Where did the people who went out riding with her, what was their account of what happened?
Exactly. That's where we're at. That's exactly.
My ass. In 81, that should have been the first question asked, question answered. If you've been studying the case, you know by now what they say happened. She split off. Her horse went lame and we left her. They got to have some excuse.
The last person to see her alive was a 71-year-old man who was walking the same trail.
Was she on a horse? You said walking the same.
He was on a horse. He was walking. They walked along for a little while together, and then he got tired, and she went on over the hill, and he sat down and rested. Some other people came back over the hill and was like, "Hey, did you see the girl?"
Were they on horseback?
Yes, they were the other part of that group that had gone to this lake and was coming back, and they had not seen her.
Okay. That makes
the
sense.
current poll has 43% of people think she was murdered. Let's see.
I need a lot more to go off of than that, Joe. How do we know she didn't fucking ride off into the desert and get lost or something? What else you got?
Well, it's in Yosemite. So it's not so much desert, but wilderness is definitely.
I got you. What time of year was it?
Just mid-spring, 70 degrees with a absolute low in the park. Like the lowest temperature in the park was around 41 degrees. So not exactly
probably not exposure death there. Right?
Probably not. Right.
Okay. The horse ever found?
Don't know. We haven't gotten that far yet. That's where we're at. We just started talking.
Apologies.
He just started going over the accounts of the different riders, starting with Gerald, who was the first.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So we're right there. Yeah.
Would overpower a 70 to 77-year-old man unless he was in absolutely peak physical condition. So it seems unlikely that Gerald himself did anything to her, and it also doesn't even seem like he was suspected at the time. The news reports don't mention him as being a suspect or suspicious, anything like that. What is suspicious is the fact that he's not actually named until decades later. But after establishing this grid to search for her in this 5 square mile area, they actually did break it up into yard by yard grids. I couldn't get an actual measurement of how big each block was, but it was much like the Tom Messick case where they searched grid mark by grid mark by grid mark until they had covered the entire area, and no trace of Stacy was found. Nothing whatsoever. 3 helicopters also assisted the search and failed to find anything on their own.
She's on a horse. Why would you assume a 5-mile radius?
Issues they had.
Also, they included rock climbers and specialty searchers, which is on a horse. You wouldn't assume.
You wouldn't have climbed the rock anyway, right?
You wouldn't assume she would climb a rock, but they did.
So they're just being thorough. Okay.
Right.
So she could have fell down off the horse and fell down.
I think we get a map here in a minute, but we'll get into that in a little bit.
Cynthia had planes and water sampling helicopters flying at low altitudes in the park without any warning. So what that appears to mean is that the fire management teams were doing water sampling and had not told the search and rescue teams about it. And so they had some close runs where they almost crashed into one another. Now, does that mean that this could have anything to do with disappearance? No, but it does show you that the search and rescue teams were not having the best communication with other national park and local services.
True.
As well as the helicopters being involved in the search, there was mention of a dog, but that dog was a German Shepherd. Now, German Shepherds absolutely can track people, but they're more prone to tracking human beings over specific people.
And so eyesight as opposed to nose hounds.
Also, in training search and rescue dogs, you don't actually train them to look for people. You don't train them to look for cadavers, for dead people. You train them to look for live people first. If you ever find a person, you're supposed to remove the dog from the area before you expose the body so that they don't think they found a dead person, because it will stop a dog from finding people.
Well, you have the opposite too. You have cadaver dogs that it's search for
cadaver dogs. You don't dig up the cadaver in their presence either. Okay. It hurts a dog's soul to find a dead person. And even if they think it's a dead person in their brain, you associate it with them getting a treat, not with them finding a dead person.
Agree.
Someone told me that, like, when my dog just lays down on her back and starts, wiggling, that something died there and she's trying to massage it back to life.
That's absurd.
Okay. Thank you.
Psychologically speaking, the exposing of the underside of a dog is only done in a comfortable and safe environment.
That would have been my first thought.
Okay.
Some people say it's an expenditure. It's an example of power. It makes them feel like they're powerful because they can expose their belly to the air. Personally, I think it's just comfortable, and they're comfortable enough to do it. But it's not.
I think is what you just said. It's a comfortability thing. It's a behavior that's normal, reserved, like exposing their necks and underside. It's the stuff they do to as a sign of submission to a bigger dog or something like that. Don't hurt me. Wait, the second part of that. Oh, okay, go ahead.
She always finds some random spot and she'll sniff it, and then she'll go down and she'll wiggle.
Oh no, that's her trying to get the scent on it. If it's outdoors, it's certainly it could be fucking an animal was there. It could be I got dogs who do it where another animal shitted or pissed there. I took my neighbor's dog for a walk and she likes to do it with shit. And she likes to rub around. This dog we got here likes to do it with food, and someone drops an egg, they like to rub around in it.
Yeah, but it's a comfort thing. It proves to them that they are in a comfortable enough state to perform less than life-threatening things. So, like, lay it on your back and exposing your belly is something you only do if you're very, very, very comfortable with the environment or are threatened into doing it. Joe did bring up a good point on that.
Yeah. All right.
When it will track that specific person, a German Shepherd is more likely to just hone in on any human being. Of course, I'm not a dog expert. I'm just repeating what was in the documents according to the owner of the German Shepherd. It was a 2-year-old German Shepherd. However, a lot of sources on this topic say that there were bloodhounds, and I could not find a single mention of a bloodhound or anything that would be called a sniffer dog, as is the terminology used in some of these reports. There's no mention of it, so it seems very unlikely to me that bloodhounds were actually used in the search, which does take down a piece of the missing 411 profile for this case. Part of the missing 411 profile is that bloodhounds can't pick up a scent. In this case, they weren't bloodhounds. There was one dog. So why was it reported that there were bloodhounds? Another thing that is heavily emphasized by these articles from the time is that there are no leads. Over and over again, no trace of evidence, no leads, no direction, nothing significant found. Just all sorts of terms that get released in these documents from the National Park Service as you're kind of reading through, because they have released certain bits of the information about the search on this topic. But there are still things that are being kept behind closed doors and locked inside of.
And that's another reason I won't touch active open investigations. It is a waste of time because the detectives that are doing in the investigation have information they have not released. And if you stumble into that information that has not been released and you mention it, your ass becomes a suspect.
You have to have sort of a special brand of autism for that to be a risk.
Okay, all right.
That's why smooth brains like me and Cynthia will go around opening buckets and shit.
Okay, y'all go ahead. I'll pass. But what got me to this point was something that happened at the school. There was a fire. No one knew who had started the fire. I walked in and saw something in the room and immediately turned and walked away. And they noticed that I didn't go in and go, gee, this is a big mystery. Instead, I walked in and went, oh, shit, and walked away.
And go on. I feel like there's more to the story.
Yeah, they came at me pretty hard thinking that I had done it. And the only way I could prove that I didn't do it was by naming who did do it, because I didn't do it. I wasn't even in that part of the school. But there was no evidence that I wasn't over there, and they were fixing to send my ass up the river. And I'm like, dude, that's Tony's glove. I'm like, it's right there, dude. His other one's in his locker. I saw it earlier today. So you're gonna have to explain to me why one glove is on fire and the other one's in his locker.
You saw my short, didn't you? Speech impediment.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have him try the glove on, make sure it fit.
No.
I'm so glad I had that, because that's from the stream that got shot down. I'm really glad that I had it multi-streaming, was able to go pick up that beautiful smooth transfer.
I don't get in fights. I get in injuries.
I shut my textbook and gave him a speech impediment. Like, well, fucking A. That thing escalated so quickly and then set us back down on the ground. I don't know what happened.
Dude, I didn't even get reported for that shit. The teacher was like an arm's reach away from me when that shit happened. His response was, I guess he won't do that anymore. Turn the page on his paper. And people got real upset. Sorry.
Secret files. Something else that I saw come up repeatedly in the files on this case was exactly how difficult the terrain was to cross. The San Jose search and rescue team, as well as the Mount Mammoth search and rescue team, all of them kind of have these mentions of it was really difficult to get to a lot of these places. A lot of the places they were searching, it wouldn't make sense for Stacy to even go, but they had to cover it just in case maybe she was running away from something. But there wasn't really anywhere that they could think of that was accessible that made sense for her, because she just wasn't in a position to be climbing like that. These are people who are professional search and rescue, and they could barely get to some of these places. Stacy obviously wasn't there, and it just calls into question, exactly what happened. This is why there's no good, simple, realistic explanation in this case, is that it was a pretty small area that she could have even gone to, and nobody saw her go in and out. And the actual search and rescue people were really struggling to get to a lot of these locations. So that 5 square mile area shrinks even more in terms of places she feasibly could have been. So what happened? And that's where the issue arises. There's definitely details we don't know, because after 11 days and $50,000 in search effort money, they called off the search for Stacy Arras. And part of the issue is all of these oddities with the case. For example, most versions involve people finding her lens cap sitting on a rock by the lake. but there's no mention of that in the actual Park Service documents. They do not say anything about that. The newspapers don't say anything about that. The people involved in the search don't say anything about that. It does not show up until the Missing 411 books, as far as I can tell. And supporting my belief that there was never a camera lens found is a letter from Park Superintendent Robert, I'm not going to get this right, Robert Binoweiss, to Dave McCoy of the Mammoth Mountain Ski Patrol, and he's thanking them for their assistance.
I think we've got our first solid suspect. Mr. Dave McCoy of the search and rescue team needs to be checked in real good. Just, you know. Welcome in, Blue Unicorn. Are you still mountain fresh?
Assistance in the search. However, he mentions very specifically not a single clue was found. Nothing. A lens cap would be a clue. A shoe would be a clue. A discarded windbreaker would be a clue. Not a single clue found. That means they found nothing. So wherever this lens cap thing came from, it's got to be apocryphal.
Does that mean they didn't find the horse either? Because that would be a fucking clue. I'm so baffled by that. You mean to tell me somebody jacked a girl and a horse? That's a whole nother type of kidnapping.
I'm still thinking it was David's brother, Casey. I did a little research, and Casey would have been 20 years old at the time of this incident in Yosemite Park, and he was there.
And he took the horse.
Okay, the horse. You take the horse, sell the horse. Come on.
And it took the horse. I'm sorry. This is a problem. Until we discover what happened with that horse, I'm not buying shit.
Okay, we're gonna find this horse.
Which, of course, immediately calls into question Paulides' credibility. However, the FOIA requests are there. He made the Freedom of Information Act request. It was denied. It was rejected. So then he appealed his Freedom of Information Act request, and it was rejected again. Now, the initial
river of steam, like a geyser.
Section 7A to the Freedom of Information Act allows.
All right. So in Yosemite, there are at least 3 of these rather deep rift rivers that flow over what would be an active geyser if it didn't have a river sitting on top of it. And occasionally these things belch out massive amounts of super hot water. And the local fish generally just don't go into that area, but people will find a nice, cool, clean area of the river and think this is a great place to swim, and they jump in, and about 12 feet down it's actually 290 degrees or some shit. It's crazy hot. This has happened. It's killed 3 or 4 people over the past few years from people hopping into these locations. So it's a thing. I just don't think it would take out a horse. I don't think the horse would go into it. That's where I'm running into the problem. You're going to have to convince me.
How much density does it change in the water? Wouldn't the horse sink as well?
Okay, even if it sank, there would still be the body of a freaking horse floating around in a river. That's not something that you're just gonna miss, man.
I don't think Sasquatch was saying a horse wouldn't go in because like the water is too solid for the horse to go through.
No.
Okay.
I mean, if the rider tells it to go through the water,
really
it's not
dense water.
much of
It's
it.
damn near ice down there.
No, that's not the issue. What he's saying is whenever a geyser goes off, the bubbles coming up causes the density of the water under the person to drop. And when it drops, they fall to the bottom of whatever body of water they're in. It's the same thing they use with ski jumpers when they're practicing in the summer. They'll bubble the water so that there's no surface tension to hit, and it doesn't knock the shit out of them when they hit the water.
Okay, so she falls in the water, taking a picture, and the horse just walks off.
Wait. That's where we're at. We got to.
No, I'm saying like because the camera lens, and she's taking a picture.
The camera lens reference was strictly a Dave Paulides reference and does not actually come up in any of the accounts of any of the searchers or any of the people who have rounded up information except David Paulides.
So why do y'all got her falling off a horse? I missed that part. I was talking to someone.
There's no reason. She just said that so she could get the horse out of the equation. You can't get the horse.
All right. So we don't know that she was even in water. This is you guys just right.
No clue.
Okay.
You just know she was headed towards the
All
lake.
right, and what I see on screen is FOIA request that it was denied. Someone, I can barely read it because it's so tiny, but
this is David Politis, the missing 411 guy who had made several FOIA requests to get data from this case released from the detectives' files, and they said no. They have something to keep the case open. They have some bit of information they haven't released, or else
how
they
long?
would.
Yes. How long? This is interesting. What was the latest request for this? Was this from the 80s or is this recent?
2000. Well, no, I think it's 2011.
2000 something. That is very interesting that they still won't release them. Yeah, they still it's still an open case in some ways, form of fashion. Yeah.
Right. And they, like I said, if they didn't have something specific to keep it as a closed case, like some tidbit of information that proves that it was either homicide or some type of malfeasance, negligence,
that'd be my guess.
It'd be a closed case. Right.
Even though the state itself loves to hold information and all of that shit, they like to hide shit. But my inclination.
This isn't about your bias against the cops.
Yes, I got to throw that out. Exactly what I'm trying to say. I got to throw it out.
I will allow this.
This is about Cynthia not opening all the buckets that need to be opened.
Keeping Cynthia away from Home Depot.
Damn right.
I have a question.
I could be stopping
How
crime,
long-
and y'all should appreciate that.
You can't stop crime over the bucket. I guess you could if you find them tools.
You could be stopping construction projects.
I'm not. I'm cautious.
Wasn't it a toolbox murderers? You remember that, Cynthia? That was the
No.
worst fucks in the world.
Chuck just brought that up. I hadn't seen anything, but I have heard of other cases like this. That's why I brought it up.
These were the guys that used to, I think they're the guys drove around the van, kidnapped the girl, and they take them back to their place and they play a tape for them. And the tape, they had someone reread it. They wouldn't play it, but it would be like, I know it's strange and naked and chained up to a wall right now. But this will be your life for the next month or two until me and my wife get tired of you. We'll invite friends over, the dog, we'll have our way. And if you ever disagree or call us by the wrong name, we'll shock you, electrocute it. It was just the horriblest shit in the world. I think those are the toolbox murder dudes.
Hey, what didn't he work for the police department as a mechanic or something, or the sheriff's department?
These guys, I assume, could not have because they were like really hillbilly-ish. They live in their own world. I assume if he associated with someone like the sheriffs every day, he wouldn't have been able to come up with the weird.
Don't judge a hillbilly by their drawl, y'all. Look at how well Sasquatch has done for himself. He's got tunnels in his background and everything.
Facts
and I want to know, Cynthia, do you know how common it would be for you to find a bucket at a job site that had like rope and tape and a knife?
Tools. My guys keep tools in that
well,
so at what point do you go, this knife is suspicious?
Well, I'm not going to sites. I'm like when I'm in the woods, walking around and going through the trails. That's
more
what
logical.
What are you doing in the woods?
What if
I take the dogs out and stuff.
All kinds of problems with this, Cynthia. It's not just the problem with finding the head in the bucket. You are far more likely when in getting involved with serial killers to find a head in the bucket rather than a serial killer bug out pack. Like that start rate batshit crazy, dude.
We've seen your dogs. Your dogs might as well be guinea pigs. We know you're not taking them into the woods.
You're wrong. You are wrong. I take
Show us a dog. Show us one of these foraging wood dogs that live in
about
the
this big. Can't walk 1 2 blocks.
Yeah.
Come here. Which one's
your
gonna
dogs are like bird food.
Oh, y'all shut the fuck up. Wife Squatch has something to say.
All right, wifey. Good job, Sasquatch.
What'd you say? She said, leave those poor men's buckets alone.
She said, leave those poor men's buckets alone. You don't know what's in them. You don't know where they've been.
And your dogs are bird food.
Keep opening the buckets. If I find a suitcase on the shore, I'm 90% sure it's a dead body. I'm gonna
It's
open
that square grouper, bro. It's that square grouper.
If you're gonna be popping open 5-gallon buckets, you better look where the real bug out kits are and start popping trunks.
Yeah, and they think I'm gonna bury the bucket. No, they gotta hide it though, right? You can't just leave it out in the fucking woods. How good is it if you didn't hide it and stash it?
It kind of depends on the woods you're crawling around in, bro.
I want to see these. I want to see these dogs. She's taking on a walk through the woods.
Hang on, I'm turning on lights. Just give me a second.
I'm gonna Google
You have
buckets.
to carry these
killers,
motherfuckers in a purse through the woods.
killers leaving tools in buckets and see if it's a real thing.
I know people who have buckets buried on their property full of different stuff.
Oh,
Rule
on
number
camera.
one.
This is Zach.
Never
This
said
is
it.
Sebastian.
That is an ewu. Hold on. That is an
Yeah,
ewu.
yeah.
Yes. Hang on. Let's come back to this right place where I can actually see y'all too.
Hold on. Let me get that off big screen before it settles.
We
Might end up
want
with
to
a
see
fine
things
nipple.
off screen that she didn't want us to see.
Right? It's going to happen. We're going to find her freaking insert device here.
No. Look at him. Look at him.
I'm sorry,
That
dog.
dog
She's
could
got
not
you with
step
a
over a fallen branch.
Yes, you
No.
could, baby. You are mommy's
Is it just
hero.
me, or does he has this despondent look of like absolute dejection on his
No,
face?
yeah, that's dissociation.
He's embarrassed as
That
fuck.
dog is
She's got him-
dissociating.
She's got him wearing weird shit. Of course, he's embarrassed.
No, look like he's going through.
Attire.
How
Okay.
you gonna be a proud like man dog when you've got that little fucking that
his-
bib on? Looks
Yes.
like you stole him from fucking Red Lobster.
And he smells
Well,
like
we're going to take pictures in the blue bonnets this weekend.
No
And that's
wonder he's
how-
dissociated.
He's lived with me for 7 years. He
oh
loves
my
it.
god, that poor animal.
He has a
finding
whole.
nothing.
Oh, look at
Oh.
smoking auditors. Oh, it's so cute.
All right, don't make me go.
Yeah,
like
it's
On
like
this segment of dogs that ain't good for shit.
Oh, gosh, he's so cute with his nose. And I
Oh,
like
no one can walk on my property without him barking.
Mm-hmm.
Is he good in the forest? That's what we're trying to figure out.
Can he step over like a small trickle of water on the ground, like a little puddle?
Okay.
Yes,
I'm not
yes, he
gonna
can.
Hey, hold on now. That's no judge. I have a 119-pound freaking mastiff, and he can't make it across a trickle of water without rolling in it. So
Yeah, but
it doesn't
I bet
count.
I bet if you walked up to your house and your mastiff barked at me, I'm leaving.
Yes, you would.
I found one.
Even with my dog's bark.
I found one Cynthia person who kept their killer. Who
Is
kept their
Joe cool about to
tools.
show us a picture of his dead dog?
It was Kemper.
The
somebody
least
Kemper,
useful
famous
of all
killer.
the dogs on the
He
panel right
used
now.
a bucket. Kemper. I don't remember what he did, but he was a famous
Kemper
killer.
used a bucket. He put intestines.
What's going on?
That
Sebastian.
was the only guy I could find.
Those are called chitlins.
She's not gonna find a bucket full of a killer's
I
bug out.
can't wait.
He's
I'm gonna stream it. I
If
can't.
she found a bucket full of human intestines, what do you think she'd do?
Cynthia's
She'd be like, ew,
lying.
something in there is gross, and like throw that bucket away and keep on moving to the next one.
Yeah, she'd go looking for the.
No, I worked in the emergency room of the county hospital, right? Like
you
there
open
was at one
buckets in
point. There was
Sort
that
of
one
like Jeffrey
point that
Dahmer worked at the suicide hotline. We're on to you, lady.
we would play games on the new people. Like we would have to get the bodies down to the
Hold
morgue.
on. No.
Which one do you think will die first?
No, we would have people take we would have like the new because the firefighters would have to come through there through the ER to do some training. And so we would always play a joke is we would always have one of them, like if somebody died, we'd have them take them to the morgue. But one of us would already run down to the morgue and lay on one of the tables. And then when they came in there, we'd sit up real quick. Like,
No. I'm sorry.
like that's what I'm saying. Like body parts and stuff really don't affect me.
Okay, sure.
Did you ever pile them on top of yourself to make the disguise better?
No, I never did that. No. But I did have to clean up the people after they passed. Like I would have to clean them up and get them in the bags and take them to the morgue.
Do they poop actually for real?
My dumb ass walk into a morgue and one of them motherfuckers sits up. I'm stabbing that fucker right in the head. I've seen
Well, they
every
don't
episode
have-
of The Walking Dead. You're taking your life in your own hands. That's not even murder. You were already dead.
There have been people
Could you imagine the
who
one
were
time
technically
that
declared
it
dead
was
and
really
woke
a
up
zombie?
after 24 hours.
Yeah.
A real zombie sits up and they're all just like, ha ha ha, the goddamn ER chicks again. Then they get bit by the zombie and it's all bad. That's how the fucking movie starts.
Right.
Mhm.
You're a terrible person, and we finally found the source. What I'm getting at is this: that dude sits up and ends up with a broke nose, broke jaw, and a stomped out skull. And I come upstairs and go, "We had a zombie outbreak, but it's okay. I took care of it." What are you gonna do then?
You know, Trig works at the he owns a funeral home. That's what he does all day.
Suspicious. All of you guys are suspicious.
I gotta go with Flo on this one. It's suspect as hell.
A funeral home would be a great disguise for someone who wants to murder multiple people.
They're building a crematory.
Would Trick be mad if I just showed up with some work for him?
Well, they're building a crematory that will be done this summer. I'm excited for that.
It'd be sort of like, hey, you're smoking ribs. Do you mind if I throw something in there? Sort of like that.
One of the craziest stories I've ever encountered, and I haven't been able to find it since I started YouTube. I've tried to go dig it back up, but there was an account, I believe in West Virginia, of a person who was running a burial home, a funeral home, and he was disposing of body parts from the local hospital when they would like remove things. Like, they didn't have a disposal mechanism at the time, and so they just basically took them over by the truckload and dropped off hazardous waste to be stuffed into the caskets of people that were having closed casket funerals. And he made a fucking net on that shit.
Wow.
The only reason it ever came above board was after he died, they found one of his last caskets that he was supposed to be doing actually had like a number of body parts in it that didn't belong to the person in it. And it was discovered that one of these people was a missing person. And so there's a belief that he was responsible for several of the missing person cases in the area, and they will never be able to solve that shit.
Damn.
Think about it. I mean, you go dig up all the caskets he messed with and find 10,000 body parts for 10,000 people, and you're supposed to prove 6 of them are victims of this guy. Okay.
Then somebody just get caught selling body parts from a funeral home, taking orders and shit.
Oh, that's so common. And they just remember they found the 210 bodies outside of the sheriff's department in Mississippi, and
What
one
are
of
we to
them was
think of
somebody that was missing.
What are we to think of that? The guy, one of them they found was hit by a police who ran over and a drunk police or something. They thought missing. Turned out a police killed him. He's turns up there.
His mom was looking for him.
License to distribute body parts for science.
It's called a body broker.
Yes.
Yeah, a body
And
broker.
a body can sell anywhere from like $5,000 to $20,000.
Yep.
The oversight on that industry is almost non-existent. I read an article about it one time. It was amazing. As a felon, I could open up shop probably this week if I weren't so squeamish.
Right. It's that blood that gets you, though, ain't it?
Actually, it's everything else.
It could have you could have worked with a bunch of buddy of mine that was straight up serial killers. It could have kept you in business, bro.
Okay, so here's my question, Joe. Is if a person kills multiple people, does that make him a serial killer?
It'll depend on the time.
Isn't that the definition?
It's just a
Street
spree
killer.
and a serial, and it depends on the times.
What if he's a drug dealer?
He's a serial killer unless they all happen in one day. Well, you're talking about from ODs?
I'm just no. I'm talking about a person who's in the gangster life, has killed 6 people over the
These
course
niggas
of his
is
life.
serial killers. Yes, they are.
Is that individual a serial killer, or is he just a gangster?
Have these rappers that you hear, if they're from Chicago and New York, and they're doing that drill music shit, it's turning out they are serial killers. 7, 8, 9 bodies, at least 4.
What's his name? The one that was killed. They're thinking he was a serial killer.
What are we supposed to think about this Joe Cool guy here?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for shit show. He's a serial killer.
He's shady as hell. He'd be all over
Yes.
the
Those
He's
are
all
rumors.
over all the panels. He
And
never
rocks.
promotes anybody.
And he
You-
rocks back and forth, and that's usually a serial
that's
killer
a
trait.
sign.
Where's Jeanette Crap when
Apparently
you need
in
him?
Miami, I went to Miami to knock off 8 people or something. It was a
Wow.
newspaper article or something.
That.
Let me guess. You were down there throwing alligators at people.
I was down there filming with Rogue and
See,
so
we
and
don't
so
have
now.
alligators.
And
We have
some
wild-
troll put up an article said I killed 8 motherfuckers down there.
All right,
They were
we got to
looking
get
for-
Joe Cool in the movie. He's definitely got to be in the movie. We're gonna make him.
Oh,
we're gonna
Meth Gator? Yeah.
Ooh, I got it. We make him appear to be the actual killer when the whole time he's just trying to tell people about the meth gator running around eating people.
I have never seen your little excited hands get that excited before.
Not the little excited hands.
Ooh, I got it.
Lawrence the big brother, ain't he, man? That's big brother.
Everybody
shit.
calm down. It's fun.
I'm the big brother, but I'm the youngest one on all these panels all the
Right,
time.
big brother and us.
No, it's just because you're such a douchebag and you wear the
Yeah, maybe it's a little brother. Yeah,
I accept that.
that was big brother.
Now,
shit.
hold on. I want to see. I want to see if Joe Cool can do like the Bayou. Can you do the Bayou accent? Like, we kind of need. In Meth Gator, we kind of need like the old black guy who's
I don't
seen
know what a
all
Meth
this shit
Gator
happen
is.
over and over and over again. You know, the guy who knows what's going on but doesn't say
Yes.
anything, just sort of
Yes.
gives you that twinkly eye look.
Yeah. What
I
what I
usually-
do for that, I try to pull out my Morgan Freedom Salt Sink Redemption. It was bad times back then, really bad. See, I suck at it, but that's what I reach for. That
You're gonna do it.
Morgan Freeman.
It was bad times back then.
Yeah.
Really bad.
Right. That's right. The guy who's been around too long accent.
Yeah. Absolutely. So to answer the question I asked that started this whole travesty, yes, those people are also serial killers by your definition.
They absolutely are. I've been calling a lot of my friends now that they're dying off. They are undoubtedly, and it's in the news that now that these rappers are getting arrested, exactly how many bodies these people have.
Yeah.
I got buddies that kill 4 or 5 people on one date.
Yeah.
Right. I got one buddy. I don't know. I shouldn't even talk about that shit, but
Nope.
he left one of the kids alive, this and that, and she knew him, and the feds came to the crib. It was a big old mess, and I had so many of them stories from so many friends. That guy right there is death himself. He's been serial killer since I was a kid.
Right?
Yep.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
That's a hard pass on my book. Those people tended to have horrible accidents.
Yeah.
in my
I don't
life.
believe I
It
was talking
always
to someone
surprises
today.
me
Go ahead.
when I meet a killer and they didn't kill me. I'm always shocked. Like, because
Oh my
I always think,
God.
Are you upset? Hold on. Are you upset when you meet a hooker and she doesn't have sex with you?
Fuck you.
no, but you know what? True fucking story. Who delivers babies? The gynecologist or whatever that person is, the one that delivered my first son.
The stork.
The stork.
Right, the stork. Okay, so the doctor that delivered my first son was like arrested 1 month later because he was sexually SAing patients, and I was offended he never made a pass at me. Like, no, I was really pissed for like a good 2 or 3 months.
I've been here for 9 months, and you
Right, you ain't never. What the fuck? He even hit on my mom. He
ladies
hit
and
on my
gentlemen,
mom at the hospital.
This is the literal definition of narcissism. When you a rapist in the building and you get pissed that they have a single thing at you.
No,
I'm
Had
not
it
cute
also-
enough.
Oh my God.
no, I was like 17. I was in my prime too.
Apparently
So I
not.
was like 17. No. I come to realize at that age that I just have that certain personality. Like, don't fuck with me.
You seem like you'd be too much of a pain in the ass.
Right. That's what I
You're
was.
gonna fuck up my buckets.
Hit on my
Okay.
mom. He
That's
met
our
my
doctor.
mom at the hospital having the baby and sent her flowers. Like, I'm the patient. I was so pissed.
He's like, I got a whole bucket system. This chick is gonna fuck it up.
If he only known.
I was so pissed. I was.
Cynthia,
Yeah.
You bring a whole new meaning to the word bucket list.
Well, whatever.
They called a
but
doctor on
I'm
tape
gonna
doing
find that
shit.
story. I'm gonna find that
You
story.
should
and
write
run
that dude a
news
letter.
story.
You need some closure here.
Yeah, find that guy.
Yeah, I'm
He
gonna
closed
find.
them damn buckets and
Yeah,
stop opening.
No, because I was pissed because they sent an undercover doctor. I mean, an undercover police officer that was pregnant, and
I
that's how
wonder
they
is this
caught.
the one that I saw?
Narcissist.
That's how they
footage.
caught him. But I was like 17 when this was happening. But OMG.
I saw
YouTube
Maybe
police
his type
in a
is older
mental
women.
institution. I want to know, is YouTube a mental institution? Because it sure seems like it's.
No, I
It
got a
draws the
clip of
worst.
you saying that it's a dopamine hit. Remember?
Yeah,
Zach?
no. The more I'm on here, the more I'm convinced YouTube is just a play area for people with cluster B personality disorders. That's
What
all
the
it
fuck?
is.
I gotta Google cluster.
What's a
B.
cluster B personality?
Narcissism, psychopathy, histrionic,
wow.
and borderline.
I don't know what any of those words mean.
Border. I know all of
Show
them.
Cynthia.
Yeah. Joe Cool knows all of them.
I'm dating one from each, and I had to fucking investigate and study these.
And then there's sweethearts like Smoking Auditor, and we're not sure what the fuck he's doing in this part of the neighborhood. But
yes, he's just a
Sucked in by
normal
the cluster
guy,
personality,
right?
bro.
I like smart people. What can I say?
see, and then he hits us with the compliment too.
I'm talking about him. I didn't know who that was. I didn't know that was him up here.
YouTube police. That's what I'm saying. Is like there are different reasons for getting involved in YouTube. Some of us got involved because we wanted to see what the back end looked like. We hear about creators talking about it, and so the only way to really find out is to go whole hog and start making content of some kind.
I was about to
Some
say,
of us,
yeah. What about the content creators, YouTube police? Certainly the panel motherfuckers like us. We're broken, twisted, some traumatized.
I'm not.
yes, you
To
are.
the man.
Cynthia,
the
you're
man
worse than the
we
rest
are.
of us.
You screamed when we suggested there might be something wrong with all of us. Your response was to scream, "There's nothing wrong with me." You're all
I don't know y'all.
Some people
Well,
would
I can't say that.
It
So I
never
can't
crossed-
speak for y'all.
No, the issue is it never crossed your mind.
That means you're the craziest. That probably means you're the craziest.
The rest of us have at least integrated our shadow. You're still in denial here.
Yeah, exactly. One day,
I'm gonna
when
go
you
find my son's birth certificate. His doctor's name will be on there. I'm gonna find it.
She doesn't even want to hear this. She's too busy finding out why the
I'm
serial
that
killer
way
did.
too. Once I start, I can't stop something. I can't think of other things until I figured it out.
I'm
I-
sorry. I'm sorry, Sash. Go ahead.
So here's what I was getting at before the show when I told you that there are different reasons people get into this. You backdoored in through panels, which is strange to me because that's not the source of most YouTubers. Most YouTubers think they're the greatest thing since sliced bread. They film themselves, put it up, they get 5 views, and
Their
they
opinions are so important. Everybody must hear what I got to say. And then
Scott.
the motherfucker got 12 subs,
What's that
100
dude?
views, and
Scott
swears
B2
YouTube
or
is
whatever.
shadow
Scott
banning him
2B.
and shit.
Yeah.
Scott 2B. All right, so Scott 2B is so convinced of his own superiority that he will scream over you to try to make a point that he's made 60 times in the past.
What the fuck is that
as
about?
if it's a brand new point. And that's
Yes.
what I don't understand. I have nothing against the man, no negative feelings on it. I'm just not willing to argue with a brick wall that has a sign written on it.
That's low IQ, insecure, inferiority bullshit where a person can't hear a thing or they not smart enough to articulate the argument in from a different angle and shit like that, and they just break down and yell and just keep repeating the same thing. That's low IQ and sensitive.
You find
shit.
the same type of people involved in and throwing freaking Bible verses onto the chat. Like these are the same.
I love
type-
that shit.
It is. I mean, people who throw in like Article 6, Section C of the Constitution are the same metaphysical place as the people who are throwing Bible verses up, because they're both trying to tell you the law and how you talk.
I dig it. You're right too. Those people was just saying that same fucking.
But you think Cynthia came in through the grime, the conflict?
I did no. So that goes back to my theory of how I learned to walk.
We are listening to Sasquatch's theory right now, Cynthia.
I kind of do stuff backwards, but
that's that insecurity we were talking about.
No.
Can we hear the rest of Sasquatch's theory before you tell him why it's wrong?
I'm co-signing it. Y'all don't even let me co-sign them. But go ahead, Swatch. Yes, it's absolutely strange that I did it this way, because everything I do in my life is strange. I do it backwards.
Co-signing blank checks at this point.
All right, Chairman, I'm going to let you up. But if things get weird, you're coming down faster than I can make my head spin.
Well, you know you, bro.
Hey guys.
Hello.
What's going on? Oh fuck, he's acting weird, Sasquatch. Get rid of
the weirdness.
That's normal, weird chairman stuff. It's fine.
I'm joking. Oh, how you doing, bro?
All right. So what I was getting at is the two types of people that come from panel verses are either people who are articulate enough to make it in this genre, because you can't have a specialization and get on a panel. You're immediately going to be out of your depth, right? So you have to be a consummate generalist in order to, like, you go over to one of Flow State's panels on like a weird night, not one of his like
every night. It goes everywhere. It doesn't follow anything. Yeah.
But what I'm saying
See you guys later tonight.
Okay. So what I'm saying is, when the topics start meandering around and you go from true crime to horse training, like
to ghetto street shit and
exactly straight to some ghetto street shit. None of us have experience in all of these genres. There is no person on this panel or any other that's going to be able to address intelligently all
like
of
Sasquatch knows about homosexuality. Me and Flo don't know nothing about
exactly.
it.
I'm teaching them both by being their big spoon.
Yes. So go ahead, continue. Yeah.
I didn't hear what he said, but something about how spit works for lube too.
No, I'm the big spoon. They make sure they stay warm by staying near my fuzzy.
That's right. It all sounds. That's why we call them Sasquatch, baby. If y'all didn't pick up on that, but I interrupted for my dumb joke. I interrupted something good.
You're good. What we're getting at is this: in YouTubery, you're either a content creator, which means you can understand the concept of terms of service, which means you think creator thoughts, or you are not. And if you're just on a panel to try to scream about the First Amendment, YouTube's not the place to do it. There is no First Amendment here. I approve of the First Amendment. I am an advocate. I would be an absolutist, except I can't. YouTube won't permit it.
Right.
So the people who get pissy because some force of nature removed my comment probably should have removed. I mean, it's YouTube. It's not the street corner.
Yeah, it's the same thing when they're yelling from chat, repeating the same thing or harping on something. It's
those are the people whose free speech rights I love removing the most.
I bet. Right?
I love it. There's nothing I love more than deleting somebody, and then they go, "You don't support free speech." It's like, goddamn right I don't. Not here, not ever for you. I want to take all of your rights just to hear you squeal.
3-4 years ago, I was that dude Flo.
This is where the cluster B shit comes out in me.
Yes, but it's clear. It's clear. For me, you, Sasquatch. All of us are just restraining ourselves. But really, if we were able to, I didn't have to be modest and all of that shit, all of us think that motherfucker, we are the smartest, most capable.
Go talk to Harry Nuts. Go talk to Harry Nuts. He's a YouTuber. He met me in person, and within 15 minutes, he was just staring at me like he had been through some kind of a war or something, because my humor is extremely dark. It's extremely twisted, and this is a Sasquatch light situation. I meter my humor for YouTube, because if I go whole hog, Joe's not going to like me, and YouTube's going to get rid of me.
I don't know. I'm holding my humor back too. And other rooms are much more vulgar and do much worse.
I'm certain if me and you met in person and the cameras weren't rolling, we'd have a totally different conversation.
Yes, yeah. And it depends on it.
Probably be pretty gay.
I met Rice Krispie, and we were at a, I don't know, an ice cream shop or something the first day I met him.
Okay.
And I had just met him. And I had always, because he's a egghead like we are. And I had always wanted to talk to him about quantum physics at that time. I think it was about atoms escaping. I don't even remember what it was. But we went into the shop and we started having a conversation, and it was about Gauss chambers and shit, how the radiation leaves a gas, a trail through the vapor and all of that shit. But when we looked up, the whole fucking store was quiet. Was quiet, surrounding us with their mouths fucking gas. We look around and shit. And they were just like amazed at what the fuck is these cats talking about. My point, I guess, is me and Wright. Yeah, we went off. We hit it off, and we talked about different shit, man. But from the moment I met him, that was when, man, we were locked. All right, I bounced Flo, man. Someone gave me $5. I got rid of him.
No, and Flo's doing his own stream.
No, he's fixing to go start his own stream. And as soon as he gets it up and running, I might pop over yonder myself.
Yeah,
no, but you were saying, hey, it was strange that I came in through the panels first, but Paul
Chairman,
had...
appreciate you coming up. Sorry you didn't get to say much. I've got some loud mouths up here, and I'm one of them. Damn, smoking
no problem.
I'm just sitting here quietly, but just for the record, I started out panels too, thanks to AFA.
He said you started doing panels too, thanks to AFA.
Who's AFA?
Josh.
Yeah, thanks to AFA. Accountability for all.
Yeah. That was one day.
Apparently, I chose a good screen name.
Your
mic messed up.
His phone just went, slammed a shit in a bucket. It happens.
Oh damn! The dog just
don't open that bucket, Cynthia. You leave his bucket alone. That's got his phone in it.
I found a bucket today, and it was orange, and I was like, heck yeah, but it was Crody crap in there. I was like, heck no.
It's actually the body part, so she's not interested in that.
I'd never thought about opening
buckets. Wants to prevent a crime from occurring.
Why? Like, what are you talking about?
Interesting. No, he's right. I'm thinking dead body. You're thinking tool. You're thinking prevention. Yes, you're thinking different. Good one, Sasquatch.
No, I noticed this right out the boat, man. She's talking about. Look, first of all, do you have any idea how many preppers bury a handful of stuff in a bucket somewhere just in case they need it when they're out?
I'm sure a lot.
Yeah.
So if you come across some interesting tools in a bucket, your immediate assumption is this is a kidnap bucket, not some dude's, just in case bucket.
Yes.
We're seeing gore. We're thinking gore, dead body.
Right.
You're seeing tools. You're thinking ahead of the thing. If I see this is what I'll do. This is what I could do, because you've already got stuff plotted out from there. I'd never, I don't know.
I just want to be perfectly clear for everybody in chat and everywhere else. It's never a mannequin. It's never a mannequin.
So
every time you ever see a mannequin out somewhere, just don't go check on it. You don't have to be involved if you don't get close enough to the body to leave evidence. You can just walk away when it's like, hey, is that a mannequin over there? When you hear the word mannequin in your skull, you go, is that a mannequin? No, I don't want to know.
I wouldn't walk away, bro. Right?
No.
When you want to go over there and see it, Cynthia would be taking pictures.
Oh, no. I found one.
Okay.
I found one.
So.
When I was
Hold on. You found a dead body?
So we was riding in the car, and we was looking out the window, and it was like one of those back roads, and there was a man laying in the middle. I said, hey, Mom, there's a body laying in the grass. And she thought I was lying. And I said, no, there's a body laying in the grass. And so sure enough, we turned around, but he wasn't dead. I guess somebody just threw him out of the car.
All right. Well, that's a little different.
Yeah, but he was just laying in the middle. Like we went over there and woke him up.
Change of circumstances. So I'm in the deep woods and I find a mannequin and I walk away from it. And you're on a street corner in Chicago and you find a mannequin. In my environment, I am the suspect immediately. In that environment, you are the suspect immediately. If I were to stumble across a body on a mannequin on a street corner somewhere, I would also walk away and not be a suspect there either.
Check this out. Check this out, Sasquatch. This is a true story. One of my guys, when I was hustling, we got a bad load of shit in. And I immediately called, and everybody called everybody to say, don't sell it, blah, blah, blah. This idiot decides he's going to sell it anyway. And I just had another friend who was in the crib with him, and he was on speakerphone talking to one of the guys who wants his money back. And he's telling the dude, man, fuck you, nigga. I told you when I finished and blah, blah. I should have never even sold him to him over shit. And later that night, someone calls him, set up a buy right out in the back of his crib, which is in the back of my crib. And they air him out, a bunch of shots, machine gun shit. And I go over there, and it was in the wintertime because steam was coming out the holes in his neck and shit like that. And I had just called him, was like, nigga, don't be so-and-so with that shit. And the police come up behind me, don't move, blah, 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 all that bullshit. And he had dope in his hand because he was making a delivery, the phone in one hand, dope in the other hand. And yes, I was the first dude. And yes, I was erasing my shit, which at that time I didn't think they don't do shit. They still got his text messages and shit, but they figured out pretty fast, I guess. They never found the killers, but they didn't question me. The neighborhood did, though.
Right, but you also didn't go up and volunteer the information either, because Joe ain't
no.
Right, Joe ain't no
no, but I talked to the niggas on the street. Right? I was like, man, I was there when the police showed up. Well, I was like, yeah, man, I was fucking erasing text messages and shit.
Yeah, but you're in Chicago, so if you're still around after someone gets shot, they're not going to think you did it.
Right, because the crowd's gonna go, right?
We would expect them to leave. Also, filming the joint, that probably throws a monkey wrench in the suspect tree as well.
The what in the joint?
A monkey wrench in the suspect tree.
Throwing a what in the joint?
When you show up filming, that
filming
throws you off of the suspect list. I mean,
this wasn't that long ago, but I was a different dude. I was deep into hustling. That's what I did. I would have never thought. I avoided the cops like the plague. The biggest part of stress in my life is, driving that shit around, making deliveries at 3 o'clock in the morning when they pull anybody over. I never had a license or anything like that. Just total illegal dude doing different shit. No chance I pull out a camera and film and know anything about an amendment or anything like that, bro. No chance.
Is Flo live yet?
Yes.
Do we know he is? Okay, let me go grab that link. And I'm on.
Yeah, well, I know how to get there. I'll catch up with you cats over there.
Hold on. I'm gonna end this. Hold on a second.
Oh.
I'm gonna end this, and I want to tell you a story about something that happened, some of that dope boy shit.
Okay.
But I don't want to tell YouTube.
Those are the best lives.
No, we don't do those live. Not sure what else to make of it. Anybody want to say bye to everybody?
Goodbye. Thank you so much for having me up, and thank you for the subs. I do appreciate it. And stick around. Let's see how I grow. I don't know.
And everybody grow over the flow state. Check my
we'll probably all be over there in a few minutes. I got this short little story to tell Joe, and we'll be done. So till next time, same Sasquatch time, same Sasquatch channel. I don't like that. That's too overdone. It's well enough.